I'm spitting hymns, synonyms, open gyms, never miss the rim. These pockets fat, but moving like they slim. I got a big heart, little Tim. You have to understand I'm him, the boy is him. Yeah, the boy is him. I ain't traffic, way I'm moving, pushing whips just like a pimp, rock and roll life. Even bands cannot make me flip. I'm sticking to the script as I'm trying.
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Great to meet you.
Bro, thank you for making the fucking journey to
Absolutely.
come out here, bro. And before we get into all the haps, I ask every single person that comes on my show the same question. Who are you?
All right, I'm Rich Money, engineer from San Marcos, Texas, and I've been working in the industry around here for like 10 years. Had the pleasure of working with tons of artists in the area. So started off whenever I was like 14 and started like producing and engineering for people online back then, and met some really cool people online that, you know, we just started working, putting out tons and tons of music, and it kind of led to working with everybody in the area. So yeah, it's been fucking awesome.
So what, 12 years? You said 14?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm like 27 now, so it's like
Sheesh.
13 years. Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy. I think I've been rapping now for a little over 6 years. So I
Nice.
started when I was 17.
Yeah.
I was kind of late, but I don't know. I don't know how I lived without it for so long.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you're never late. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you could pretty much just jump into it at any time. I feel like there's a lot of really talented artists that they get started, like, what would seem late, and really just not even letting that hold you back.
Yeah.
That's how you,
I don't even think it was the fact that I got into music, like hip hop, like rapping late. I think it's the fact that I got into hip hop music late.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
my dad drilled into my head at a young age that music isn't music if it wasn't made with real instruments.
yeah, there's a lot of people with
So-
that philosophy.
So I was like, fuck. Like
But,
I
like, I feel like most people nowadays have heard a verse that moved them. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some vocal performance that you're just like, wow, you know, like that could have been soloed. There's no background at all, and that would have been like obviously the part that moved me. So
I
now there's so many artists I respect that are just like vocally talented. you know?
That's definitely true. But I think what a lot of people have a tough time regarding as talented from the old generations is that like authentic having like bringing a sound to life from
Mhm.
nothing. Like I know it got really famous like when Charlie Puth went on like the Tonight Show and he
Oh,
was
yeah.
like hitting a spoon into a cup and then he
but
made
he's
like
really
a
talented. I mean, you saw him do
obviously,
the,
but I'm saying when you don't know who that is and you've never seen someone do that, you don't even like realize what the talent is there.
yeah, that's
So it's like it's hard of a thing to explain. You have to like just like watch it happen
I
before
explain
you.
this phenomenon a lot to my artists, where it's kind of like people on the outside looking in hear music and they appreciate it, and their first thought isn't that it's very difficult. You know what I mean? They just are appreciating the art for what it is. Whenever you get into making music, the difficulty that you expected versus the difficulty that it is, you know
Mm.
what I mean, is usually vast. And so that
Yeah.
leads a lot of artists to kind of reconsider their game plan from whenever they jump into it. It's hard to plan for what an artistic career will look like
Mhm.
because from an enjoyer's standpoint, you hear something that you like and you're like, how difficult could that be really? Because they make it look easy. But then you get into it and you're like, wow, you know, a lot of these people maybe have been trained since they were kids, you know, to
Yeah.
be able to sing in the way that they've sung. And then as vocal performers in general, it's just difficult, you know. So that's something that I've seen so many times. And then because the artist will be like, why is it difficult to gain traction?
Yeah.
And it's because people that you're trying to impress have no idea how hard it is to do because they've never really tried it themselves. So it's like just a very big gap in
Yeah.
expectation, you know.
So-
You have to really book a session to get it.
Did you start out like trying to be a producer or were you trying to be an artist at first and then like where did that shift happen?
So the way I got started was by producing, really. And I was producing EDM. And so it was a friend of mine, and we both got into it around the same time. He had Fruity Loops, and I had some dog shit called Mixcraft, right? And, you know, we just made tons of beats, but they were, of course, the worst beats you ever heard. It's funny because my first YouTube channel that I started and I uploaded the very first beat I ever made is still up. You could listen to like the first 20 beats I ever made, and they are so egregiously bad. So yeah, maybe you can cut that into post. I'll send you the last one because you could tell I was kind of starting to get it by then. But the first one, holy fucking shit. And I'm afraid by leaking to you the actual channel, you'll be able to go back and listen to it, and then you will not book a session. Like that. So, yeah, it was really bad, but it's one of those things where it's just like consistency and growth. But either way, so yeah, I was posting on YouTube back then, and I was submitting everything I made to promotional channels. And so there was a really small promotional channel named like Luminosity or something like that with like 200 followers, but I would spam them every time I made a beat. One day they liked what I was doing and they featured me. It was the first feature I ever had. And after they featured anybody, they would add us to a Facebook group. And so there was a Facebook group of a bunch of artists that got featured. I was added to that group. I was like 14 years old. I was like, hey, I just got featured on this channel and I'm really excited to meet some of you guys. And another kid my age messaged me. His name is Dominic. And he was like, yo, this is the hardest shit I've ever heard in my life. And, we just locked in. And Dominic went absolutely crazy. He went by a couple different names, Young Lazarus and then Saint Lazaire. You can look that up. He's still
Okay.
He's still out there popping his shit. Shout out Dominic, man. That's my boy. And yeah, no, he really went on a run, and that made everything. Like, he got a song out that had like 6 million views across some like Nightcore channels and stuff.
Oh
like
shit.
that.
Okay.
And I was like 15, and
So you're
that
fucking
shit
top of
going.
the world. No one can tell you shit right now.
Seriously, but like
Yeah.
I kind of kept it under wraps because you know what I mean. I was like barely even in band, in school, so I was like in band but shitty. And then I was just like doing this on the side whenever I'd come home from my shifts working as a dishwasher. You know what I mean? So I was
Yeah.
a busboy over at a restaurant, and then I'd get off of work and I'd produce and I'd mix music for Dominic. Right?
Did you you grew up here?
So I was born in Houston, but I moved to San Marcos when I was about 4. So
Okay,
yeah, I
so
always
yeah,
from
okay.
San Marcos. You know
Okay,
what I
cool.
mean? But yeah, I was born on West Side Houston, and it's really led me to some awesome connections because I have so many friends from Houston. It's amazing, So my buddy Hendrix, shout out Hendrix. That's another person I got to shout out. He's amazing. He's from Houston, and we made that connection whenever he was living in San Marcos, actually, because I think his buddy was going to Texas State, and once we locked in, bro, it was just that was probably whenever I was about 18. But yeah, so 15, we got this song out with like 6 million views. Can't tell me shit, whatever. And I didn't produce it though. I just engineered it, and really, I engineered parts of Dominic's verse, right? So it was a co-credit for me, full credit for Dominic, but I was just so excited to be part of it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it was something that really kind of changed the game because people were starting to recognize the channels that we had put out there. So it'd be like, his growth was growing, and people would find me through that. And then I started doing mixing for other people online. And then once I graduated high school, I started a studio, and that was game over. You know what I mean? I've been working
shit.
with people in person pretty much ever since. And that was the biggest blessing of my life, is to start to get to people in person and build with them, because it's like they're artists I've been working with for almost that entire 10-year period after I
Oh
graduated.
shit.
high
And you got
school.
to see the
And yes, dude, like just the satisfaction every time, you know what I mean? Whenever we create something that is not only better than what he had made before, but then like you see the response and people are just like so excited to get to it. You know what I mean? And that's the coolest part of it. So yeah, Dominic, by the time we were done, he had worked with like Juice World, and we had gotten a beat from Baby No Money before he was just a rapper. You know what I mean? So that was
dude. I saw Juice WRLD worked in every studio in every place in America.
Yes, he was extremely prolific because he would just fucking freestyle for hours and people would cut it up. You know what I mean? And so that was kind of his thing. I remember whenever he went on Westworld and went for hours, and people were like, "What the fuck? Never seen that before." And it was like, yeah. So he was selling everything at the time, and we got our hands on an open verse, and that was like huge, bro. Like basically putting that out, and then the wake of other successful songs that Dominic was just solo on a lot of them, and then they were received very well. Just put us in the orbit though of a lot of talent, you know what I mean? And it just started to rub off. Like I sucked when I got into it, honestly, and that's why I was so okay with just starting as a producer. But there was a period whenever I was making my own raps and stuff. It was probably like right as I was graduating, because my first album my first EP had my me and my cap and gown. And
Oh,
it was
shit.
3 songs, and I had one feature on the project. There's Trippy the Kid. So I don't know if you know Trippy the Kid, but he's on tour with Young Gravy all the time, and a really good dude. Name's Kyle. Shout out Kyle. He's fucking super talented, man. He hopped on that verse and just bodied me. My song was so trash, but he made it sound really good. And people were like, "Holy shit, bro, where do you record?" And I was like, "In my closet." And so that started everything. There started coming through and recording in the closet, and I was mixing that shit up right in front of them, sending it back. We were talking to each other. They were standing in the closet with the booth, and there was a baby monitor, and then I had my little things I could talk to the baby monitor, and so I'd see them on my side, and then they would tap on the thing whenever they wanted me to run it back or something.
Bro, that's dope.
Yeah, and we just made it work with whatever we had, so that was awesome. And then we started building like a studio out front, and then I moved to Austin for a little while, and was working in studios out here, which was awesome, because they had a really cool building called the Music Lab that was right next to the I-35. And so for years that was just a place where people could rent like basically a section of a warehouse because the warehouse had been split into a whole bunch of different pieces, and they were all studios because they were all professionally sound treated, right? And so you could just rent it out for on a monthly, yearly basis, or even a daily basis if you wanted to, just any size. And it was really great because anyone that wanted to start a studio could just come and do that. And then if you had a studio there, you were like in the middle of it physically. So you would be walking in, and then there would be someone walking out, and like maybe you had, because like I remember one time, there's this guy, he booked a feature session with an artist, like a big artist, you know what I mean? And then they were walking in, they saw somebody else, you know what I mean? And they were just like, hey, come into the studio. And the person that had booked the session paid everyone up front and then slept through the session. And so it was just me and these two big artists. And they were like, hey, just run some beats. And that was some of my biggest placements. You know what I mean? So that was awesome. And that was just something that was totally random. And if you were just basically doing your thing in the music lab, you had the opportunity to do that. You know what I mean? So that was something that wasn't just great for me, but it was great for a lot of engineers and a lot of producers that were coming up, because you might just be around somebody and everyone's in a great mood at the music lab. It was cool. It was safe. You know what I mean? And so things changed after COVID, though, because that lack of revenue period made it to where they really had to either consider that if they didn't sell out every room, they weren't going to be able to continue doing what they were doing. And then if they did sell out every room, they couldn't police it all. And so that was what wound up happening, was that the cops got called on the place too many times. They just shut it down and sold it to Tesla. So I'm sure Tesla paid a great price for that. But either way, you know, that was whenever I moved back to San Marcos, started working in my own studio again, and have just been there ever since. But I do also have a room over at a Chandelier. Shout out Chandelier. Fucking awesome. It's my boy Scoop. And, you know, they're a really high quality studio. So if you want to get some of the best like recording lines, you know, we could do that. It's closer to you physically too. But, you know what I mean? That's one of the examples of how the scene has developed after Music Lab, because during the time, everything was just there, you know? So now we've had enough time for the city, I think, to just redistribute. And overall, there's been a net influx of interest and people to Austin and the surrounding areas musically. And I think that the pot is growing. You know what I mean? It's not something where people are going to have to compete and feel like we're taking from the same pot. You know what I mean? The pie is growing. And everyone is able to succeed in a growing environment because you've been established. You know what I mean? So that's something that I think is going to be really positive. And we'll see the knock-on effects for the next 5 years, because it's just going to be more people moving to Texas. I feel like it's a good tax environment.
Absolutely.
It's just,
I think it's crazy that you said your first album was called Graduation, because I have a song.
It wasn't called Graduation. It was called the Rich Money EP.
Oh.
And I released music.
I thought you said it was called Graduate. I had a song on Spotify, or no, on SoundCloud, that I made on the last day when I graduated from high school, because me and my friend snuck into the professional studio and took it over for 45 minutes and freestyled this song called Graduation. Like, the teacher wasn't there. We had like watched him put the password in the day before. And like we walked in, got the password, immediately went on BandLab. Yeah. Like fucking no, we were actually on Logic Pro.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And we got everything set up on there. We played this like shitty ass like Lil Uzi beat. Yeah. And like it was just like the fucking most retarded flow ever. Yeah. But it was fine. I mean, it was cool for what it was, but don't go stream that on SoundCloud, because it may, or definitely is still up. Don't go stream. Don't go stream.
Got you.
But I do want to know what was the process of like getting your own studio? Like what did that actually look like?
So the actual building, like whenever you're driving between San Marcos and Austin, you'll see like these little sheds on the side of the road. So we just got one of those. And I mean, the shed that we got was probably like $3,500. You know what I mean? Not that expensive. We just got to use one. And then we framed out the inside and we did installation on the inside. So that's why it sounds really good, because we actually have a couple different layers.
Oh, so you built it basically?
We had to build it. Yeah, exactly. But the actual base of it was pretty simple. You know, just getting one of those sheds and converting it. I mean, if you're out there and you want to do something like that, I mean, I was able to just do it on my parents' land. But if, you know, the price tag is the uncertainty, I mean, $3,500 is not that crazy. And then you just go and you build it yourself. And also have a really good friend of mine, boy Meezy. Shout out Meezy, gotta shout him out. He's helped me in building a lot of the inside of the studio, because it looked like one way for a while. So we had built our own, where we kind of just like stick down tile and stuff, because we didn't really know what we were doing. And then after years of use, the floors were fucked up. You know what I mean? Tiles coming off. So we had to get them redone. And you know what I mean? Meezy helped make that happen. And it looks fucking fantastic in there now. So if you've ever seen Rose Gold Records on Instagram, you will probably see the one post that we have on there. Just a picture of the A-room once we got it finished. and it looks fantastic. So shout out Measy, man.
The-
He's amazing.
The
He
one
made that
thing I
happen.
was considering doing was like I figured that there was a couple ways to do it, but I was kind of thinking about like getting enough financials to make it make sense to rent out like office space,
Yeah.
and that way I could have 2 different office rooms, one that I make into like a big studio that has like, you know, like your booth in one side, and then it's got like your producer's desk and chair, everything, and then I'd have the other room where I'd put this setup, like my podcast setup,
Right.
and then I can rent it out to people both to shoot content and then also to record music, both with or without people that work for me. So I'm like, you know,
Absolutely. I've considered that too, because you can rent the studio as well, because you know
Yeah.
the space is treated. You know what I mean? So if you want a place to come record, or you know, use the microphone for X amount an hour, you know what I mean? But we had an option to do this in a office space as well, and the inconsistency, I feel like, throughout the first 2 years of formation is kind of the biggest barrier, because getting people to come to a new location is difficult. Getting enough of a repertoire to cover your monthly overhead, because the monthly
Yeah.
overhead's fixed. You know what I mean? If that's going to be 10, 15 a month, you know what I mean? Like if you have to worry about, you know, another 1,000, 1,500 for your electricity, your rent. I mean, a whole bunch of different factors, especially if if things might be broken that need replaced. Because the truth is, if you're allowing a studio and then there's tons of smoke and stuff like that, it's just going to degrade your equipment really quickly. So you're going to need to replace it. You're going to need to kind of have that as part of your budget. You're going to want to be a certain number in the green. I mean, pretty much from the jump, if you don't want a really big you know,
That makes sense.
initial payment.
yeah, that's
right.
kind of why I was like, that's for like you got to already pop off before you do something like that. But
Well, if you
I
got a
feel-
revenue generating side hustle, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You're like, I want to transfer this to an office space because I've already built it to this
yeah,
scale.
and that's exactly.
then that's justifiable.
So like my plan was is like I have 3 avenues I want to have businesses in as
Mhm.
I'm out here longer and longer. One is always going to be coaching sports.
Okay.
Because I think that I've coached hockey my whole life and basketball,
okay,
and there's no hockey coaches out here.
at all.
So I think I can make.
Is there a hockey rink out here?
There's 3.
Oh,
So I think I could.
didn't know that.
Yeah. So I think I could do like some big time like training courses, classes with like for skills training for
Oh,
some
for
of
sure.
the kids out here. Because hockey's a growing sport. It is like from the fact that there was nobody here. Now there's 3 rinks where they're having
Yeah.
tournaments coming out. It's a growing sport, and I think
how many people like me just considered that there was no hockey. You know what I mean? And, like,
Exactly.
I'm a potential fan.
Yeah, and how like bro, what rap fans have ever seen hockey in anything? So I
Right.
feel like if I could do something completely different, like I could make a music video with like hockey.
Yeah,
And, like,
seriously.
that's so different.
And I also feel like, you know, that kind of gives you really cool opportunities to, like, if you have a rink, you know what I mean? Because there's equal popularity between like winter sports and summer sports
Yeah.
and those seasons. You know what I mean? So whenever there's like, you know, just some sort of thing going on, you could pretend, you know what I mean, to do some sort of routine. You know what I mean? And like just do that
Absolutely.
on the rink, or even like if there's a meme format. Like I remember I was seeing this promotion I thought was so smart. It's like basically this dude gets like kicked by a mule and sent flying, and then the person who wants to advertise to you throws themselves into a bunch of chairs, and then it looks like they're just a continuation of the video, and then they tell you what they want to tell you, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's fucking awesome. That's
And then
hilarious.
the other 2 I kind of wrote like comedy and the podcast into the same thing
Yeah,
because I'm thinking because of the podcast, it sets me aside from a lot of the comedians with no work ethic.
yeah.
So
for
it's
sure.
like there's guys that have done maybe more sets than I have, but they haven't made more content than me.
right.
So it's like who's really doing more comedy? If
in
that
the,
makes sense.
in the age of social media being the number one promotion of individual content, yeah, you're definitely, because I mean, all you need is clips.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Absolutely, and that's kind of why my problem is like I have to make content that I enjoy watching back
Mhm.
because if I don't, then I don't want to work on editing it. Like I don't like to stream
Yeah.
because streaming,
Yeah.
I think streaming is like mind numbing. Like I think it's like not entertaining at all.
Yeah.
Like I think like you have to really be forcefully entertaining. Like Kai Cenat is a great example. He
Right.
gets of course you're gonna be entertained when Snoop Dogg's in the room. Like
Mhm.
it's like, you know what I mean? Snoop Dogg's in the
Yes.
room. But it's like, bro, I'm fucking new. I'm like, who the fuck y'all don't know my people? I'm trying to do this interview shit so people get to know my people.
Yes,
But
and
it's
like
like-
you got to find your niche.
Yeah.
And the number one thing you have to do is put shots on the board. You know what I
I
mean?
couldn't agree more.
You have to have a large volume of content, and that'll really guide you towards what people are responding to well. So, you know, I've got some friends that are trying to reverse engineer the algorithm right now and posting what works. And, you know, I got a buddy, he's doing all kinds of skits and shit, and maybe gets 20, 30 likes, and then 1.2 million views, 200,000 likes out of nowhere. And
Yep.
like, that's boom, there you go. Everything else now it's got 2,000, 3,000 views.
Yeah,
Like,
my shit is confusing me because I'm getting a consistent number of views basically no matter what I post now, just because I've been consistent for so long
yeah,
now.
the algorithm rewards
But
that. I was talking to
I
a
haven't
friend.
got that, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I know it's gonna happen eventually. Like, I know one day I'm just gonna look down and be like,
Oh, shit. Yeah, the
yeah.
engagement on this is crazy. Exactly. And
Yeah.
like, you know, I think it's kind of like you can't really expect when it happens.
Yeah, I know.
But if you continue to do that, because I mean, even you can't be lazy at all. And I work with people who are like professional social media, like personalities and stuff. It's kind of like a big part of their income. Their number one thing is consistency and basically establishing something you can do 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
also feel like the difference between those people that are like at that highest level and then those people that are like medium creators with consistency is how many people are posting their work.
Well,
Like,
if you're not
and
able to do it full time, you have some other shit to do like all the time. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a job that pays your bills and then you want to be a content creator on the side, you're already taking on like 5-6 times the amount of effort
work.
as
Well, yeah,
someone
but
who's-
also it's like, okay, look at like the networks of people that I feel like have controlled the social media range right now in the last like 5 years.
Mhm.
I think Andrew Tate was a great example. Bro
Mhm.
just had millions of videos circulating the internet in every way. You think he was posting all that shit? No.
No,
He just,
exactly.
he created a triangle program where he had people working his content and making money off his content, but then he
Yeah,
was
Clippers
just,
get paid.
he was exactly, and he was
Clippers
just
get paid
everywhere.
now.
Neon,
Mm,
Aiden Ross, and fucking that clavicular guy. Bro,
Yeah.
all those people, they get like, they live stream Kick all day, but
All
they
day.
always have an event going on. Like, they're really smart. They like, people are like, oh, those guys are idiots, this and that. I'm like, no. They are purposely getting content lined up for 10 hours straight. Do you understand like how fucking hard that is to do?
it's difficult.
Like, they're constantly every day. Oh, tomorrow they have a stream with Blueface and Krishan Rock. Oh, and then the day after that, they're gonna have fucking have
Blueface and
Lil
Krishan
Uzi
Rock.
Vert and fucking Cardi. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
how the fuck like do you even make that happen on a day-to-day basis? And it somehow always is better the next day. And it's always something you
Yeah.
would never expect. But Clavicular had fucking Whoa Vicky on a fucking date. Everyone was like, what the fuck is that? Like, everybody forgot about
Then
Whoa
he
Vicky.
ditched her.
Yeah, he dropped her off at home because he thought he was getting set up.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on? I wouldn't be down with that at all. See, because I see the claviculars in the world, and I don't even know if people watch them out of envy anymore. I think it's just for the spectacle. Like, I don't ever see their lives and think, I wish I was doing that.
No.
Like, fuck no. I like what I'm doing, where I spend most of my day with my wife and then, you know, my family. Like, that's probably
It's like why
priority.
people play GTA, bro. They want to see someone do some crazy shit.
Seriously, but it's like, you know, you're watching people crash out in real life. Like, he's telling you he smokes meth. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? You know what
He's
I mean?
like, bro, I got to get my cheekbones the right way, cuz.
Seriously, you know, bone smashing. Like, yeah, I get it. It's probably just the ridiculousness that makes it so, but it's also like, you know,
I
there's
think he
definitely-
really believes it.
you have to. That's part
Yeah.
of the gimmick. It's
No, I
like,
think Neon is a full, like, when he first got famous, that shit was all fake.
Of
Like,
course, but
every
like-
single aspect of his character was like exaggerated for clicks. And now he's getting more into like the who he is on camera, you know?
Sure, but like, you know, for a large amount of people, he just immediately showed that he was willing to do pretty much whatever it took to be in the headlines. Like, he was like, oh, I'm gonna basically advertise myself as a cuck. Like, remember that was his whole deal whenever he first came up.
Yeah, do
was
you remember
like,
that video of him getting beat up and shit?
Yeah,
And
exactly. I'm a
yeah.
bitch. I'm a cuck. Like, that's, you know, if you want to sell yourself on that, bro, be my fucking guest. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna compete with you
But I
in
mean,
that
I-
lane because I don't want to sell myself like that.
That's so weird though, because I feel like Neon's one of those people that like he flipped the whole narrative about him. Same with Aiden Ross. Like Aiden Ross started out with like, remember he was trying to be gay. Like his thing was like he would always be gay around streamers and like rappers. And now like he'd always just be mad sus.
Sure.
And now I feel like everybody likes Aiden Ross. Like everybody that goes on his stream, I feel like he's so like he's completely different now. He's out here
Yeah, they're not
hosting boxing
assuming-
matches. Like
Yeah.
they're not like weird with it. Like everybody respects his hustle. Like he's fucking like he makes $600K a month streaming. So he's just like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, the price tag speaks for itself. If you're making that much money, far be it from me to judge what you're doing. 'Cause
Exactly.
That's obviously fucking working. But like, fuck, dude, that's crazy to think that you're able to. Because I mean, I guess the public really does have the attention span of a goldfish.
they
you
don't
know,
even
so-
remember that.
Yeah, exactly. You really have to throw it in their face with proof for them to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I forgot Aiden Ross used to act gay. Like,
Bro,
a few
literally,
times.
like,
and like, what would you use that for?
Facts.
You know what I mean? He's gonna be like, yeah, sure, maybe I did, and then
and
he's
he's
gonna
gonna
go
be like,
do something
he's
crazy.
like, you want to come
again.
ride my Rolls Royce that I haven't driven in 6 months?
Seriously, and then I'm gonna go interview, Rampage, because he's gonna be on stream right next to me again, and he's been fucking going hard.
Even
for
better,
months.
he'll have Rampage next to him when you're saying that, and Rampage is gonna be like, "What'd you say about my friend?" Like,
Yeah,
you know
seriously,
what I
someone's
mean?
gonna
Like,
text to speech something about Rampage's hairline. It's gonna go viral, like all
Yeah.
that shit. You know what I mean? They're
Well,
just
it's like-
putting shots on the board.
I really
constantly.
feel like, do you watch the UFC?
whenever it gets on my feed, but
Bro,
not like I don't go out of my way
So
to pay for
I'm a
matches or
fanatic,
anything.
and
Okay.
I think like so I grew up really liking the WWE.
Yeah,
and the
for
reason the UFC is as successful as it is because it takes the WWE format and it creates storylines. That's why it blew up. That's why Conor McGregor was so famous. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it was because they control the public narrative of these guys really hate each other and it's all on the line and it's
Sure.
grapple and
They're
it's
all friends.
Ireland versus Muslim and it's and you know what I mean? It's this and that.
Right.
And that was always how the UFC built itself. The UFC also can have you create heels that way though. They get characters that you hate because of the storylines
Sure.
that they build. So Arman Sisarukian was like made as like this big hated guy. He was from Armenia. He's like this fucking wrestler. Everybody fucking hated him. He was like, it's because he was supposed to fight for the belt and he had back spasms the day before and he pulled out and everyone's like, he's a bitch. And then he went out to fight his next fight and like a fan flicked him off and he punched the fan.
Oh, shit.
And then he fought and won the fight, but everyone's like, what the fuck? And then he just had a wrestling match where he won the wrestling match, but after the buzzer, he like elbowed the guy on the ground. Like he like headbutted one of his opponents. So like he's the number one contender in his division, but the company's like, bro, we can't give you a fucking title shot. So he's on this generational internet run right now where he's streaming with all the biggest streamers, Neon, Nina Drama, Aiden Raw. It's like he's going on all these Ashton Hall. He's on all their fucking platforms. And now everybody loves him. He's fucking hilarious. Like he's like out here he did a stream with Ryan Garcia the other day, like the goofy ass shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so crazy how like, if you're intelligent, you can use that algorithm to completely change your image and it can also completely destroy it.
Right, seriously. And being able to like find that audience and then monetize that audience.
Yeah.
That's a skill in and of itself. Like obviously I try and post on TikTok pretty regularly because I want to start building up the amount of just like consistent views on the stuff. Because I don't know if you've ever seen this producer. He goes like Prod Squirt. And it's usually
Is he the black guy with the dreads?
No, it's like this bald white dude.
Oh, okay,
And
I'm
basically,
completely- okay.
it's like something really gay gets said, and then he agrees with it, and then drops the beat. Like that's his shtick. And I feel like that works. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he goes like viral, like millions and millions of views, like on some of these posts. And for part of me wants to see how his sales improved after doing that, because I mean, if
You just want to see his graph.
Sure, yeah, because like whenever the beat drops, it's usually pretty hard. So if you're an artist and you're like, "Ha, that was hilarious," but also, "Hey, that was a pretty good beat," you know what I mean? I wonder if that really moved the needle to such a degree,
Maybe.
or if he just gets paid raw off of the number of views he gets on TikTok because he has, a couple million views. Like that'd be crazy.
You know what I feel like? I see work that I don't understand why it works. I see a lot of these producers that use like the voice modulator on their voice and they come on and they just talk shit. Like they just yap about like artists that are dickheads or something.
Sure, yeah.
And then they're just like, twin, like it doesn't need to be that hard. And like they put like the high pitch frequency on there. No, literally, they don't fuck with it. They just put the high pitch voice frequency and they're like, yeah, man, that motherfucker fucked me over, bro. All you artists, I don't even know who got bigger egos anymore. You fucking West Coast motherfuckers or East Coast motherfuckers. Like,
Yeah.
and then like they do this and that. And then they're like, or like they'll make a video, they'll be like, bro, you need to put this on your voice. And it's just like one picture of a stem that they used or some shit. And it's
Yeah.
like, that needs to be on your voice. Trust me, twin.
I don't think I've ever seen that, but that sounds like a
Like,
good gimmick.
And it works. Like I've
Yeah.
seen people get like hundreds of comments from that. And then like,
Yes, that's the thing.
it's
You
like they
wanna bait
they want people to
into
argue with you. Like,
interact. Yes,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like the rage bait. You know what I mean? I feel like that's for what it is valid. Like, yeah, you might get yourself slapped, but like
that's
you know what
why I
mean?
don't,
If the check's good
like,
enough, shit.
I kind of refuse to do that. Like, I'm already controversial enough of just what I actually believe. So I'm not going to
Sure.
go out of my way and be like, fucking bitch at me in the comments. Like, you know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
yeah.
if I say some shit and people genuinely disagree and it creates a crazy viral moment, cool. But I'm not going to like purposely generate some shit that's like,
Yeah, a lot of people are.
that's why I don't like
I feel
it.
like that's a losing strategy. Only
That's why-
because
that's why these people
lose
don't last.
Like, especially if, like, I mean, like my first instinct when I hear neon is like just being a cuckold. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's probably not the greatest association.
Yeah.
For whoever was first introduced to you on that wave. Like, yeah, I know you've done a bunch of other shit since then, but I didn't care to watch. Like, I don't really spend a lot of time watching streams in general, but like,
Oh, yeah,
just
no.
being able to respect
Clips.
how it works though. and clips. Clips make it to my feed all the time, and you know what I do? I doom scroll. I definitely do that.
Same.
And so, when I'm doom scrolling, the type of shit that I'm seeing over and over again is that,
That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. I'm saying you don't even like that shit, but you see it all the time.
all the time. And it's not like I would go out of my way to even have consumed that content in the first place. But
Sometimes it's good content.
But
though. Can we
sometimes
just be
it's funny.
straight? Can we just be
Sometimes
straight?
it's funny, exactly.
Do you fuck with 6ix9ine?
6ix9ine's a complicated kind of person. Because obviously, I don't think 6ix9ine is a good dude, but I think he is funny. And I was listening to Gummo whenever he dropped it. You know what I mean? So,
Bro, his shit he dropped when he got out of jail was tough.
I
Booba,
didn't listen
that
to
shit was
that.
tough.
Yeah, it was good. Okay, I might as well listen to it. But it's one of these things where it's like I'm not gonna defend 6ix9ine in any way, but certainly I'm entertained by him frequently. I thought it was fucking crazy. You got that Pikachu signed by Maduro. That
Yeah.
kind of seems like a glitch in the Matrix.
I will
a little
gladly defend 6ix9ine. Like gladly. Like I don't think
Well,
obviously
he's self-aware enough.
like I'm not saying the dude's a fucking saint, but
Of
I'm
course.
saying from a rapper's perspective, like he gets hated on for doing the exact same things every other rapper is doing that everybody else doesn't say shit.
Sure.
Like bro's just a rapper, right? He's just a
Right.
normal rapper that's funny as fuck, right? And then he's also like, maybe this is a crazy comparison, but he's got that like not aura, but like representation of himself in like a craziness way that I feel like is similar to how Kanye is viewed, where Kanye is equally crazy as he is intelligent.
I would argue 6ix9ine's less crazy than Kanye.
Not crazy, but like he
'Cause I-
purposely puts himself out in one way to get views,
Yeah.
but really he's another way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Except for Kanye, it feels like a lot of it really has been
you really
genuine
think it's genuine mental illness?
mental illness. Yeah, and because there's just no way it would financially benefit him to crash out in the ways that he has. Like I can understand ranting, right? But being caught almost in like a candid moment off camera is way different than choosing to make every single controversy of yours just like the face of you.
No,
Like,
that's very true.
it's
but
like the
let's-
same out. It's like if you had an album rollout for all of your rants, for everything. Like we don't need to see all this, Kanye. Like maybe this could be a tabloid headline. Like you just popped off on some paparazzi and said something crazy, and like sure, we can just let it be that, and then you can release your next album. And everyone's gonna love it. But I'm gonna say this: I always listen to him when he drops.
He's
That's-
good.
Yeah,
Well,
Bully was fucking great.
I
Preacher
truly,
Man.
truly.
I love that song. North produced it. That's crazy. Obviously, he's doing something right as a father. If he's raising his child, in a way that's going to not only benefit her in the future.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
Because she's fucking 12, and the beat's amazing for that age, and I mean for any age. Honestly,
Facts.
making that beat would have been impressive. So to hear that his daughter made it is insane. And
That
then,
is true.
she's apparently spending time with Wayne's kids, Lil Wayne. That his son likes
And
to
they're
rap.
great in the next generation. Type
That's
shit, yeah.
amazing, and it's something that I feel like will inspire kids their age for the next 100 years. You know what I
Facts.
mean? They're gonna make some shit, and it's gonna last just like their parents' shit is gonna.
No, that's
last.
true.
That's awesome. Same as Bronny playing for the Lakers. I like that.
You
Makes me
you-
respect
you
LeBron
might-
a lot as a father.
You might call me crazy for this. I think that yes, like I think there's no doubt there's been moments in Kanye West's career where he's just obviously wild.
crashing
but-
out. Crashing
But
out.
I think there was a lot of times that his wildin' was just calculated risk. Like he just knew if he said that wild shit, it was gonna get him back in the headlines. Like maybe nobody talked. Maybe he wasn't
Sure.
the top 5 Googled man for like a month, and his ego was like, all right, what kind of dumbass shit could I say right now
right
to
and-
get myself back out there? And he's so good at it. He's the best. He's the
Yeah.
best in the game at saying one paragraph to make everybody. He's the number 1 Googled thing again.
Yeah, well, unless it's like that time of the Grammys, so it really was just that hen. The hen he got on him, and he had to go up there and bitch out Taylor Swift. So you know what I mean? That happens sometimes.
Yeah, that probably wasn't. That was probably.
That's harder to defend, but at the same time,
But she
she's-
always shouts him out for that. So.
exactly. And to be honest, very flawed people are often very talented. Like sometimes
We're all flawed.
sure, but like people that have done things that are probably criminally illegal also make great music.
True.
You know?
It's like drug addicts. Like
Yeah.
it's like fuck.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Well, there's artists that have moved people in a way, and then unfortunately have passed away very young due to their habits and addictions, and that led them to some dark places. But it doesn't detract from the beauty of the art that they created.
That's definitely true. I
You
also
know?
think a lot of it is like as fucked up as it seems. It is like it's like sometimes people need to pass to create lessons and like so they can stay immortal. If that makes sense. Like
I feel like in a lot of artists' cases too, it's made fans revisit their catalog that in a way they maybe wouldn't have while they were living. Like if they had lived to an old age and then just kind of like if they
yeah.
took a long time for their music to fade out versus just like one moment
People
at the
have
peak of their
people
career.
have created
that
like
just
I feel like people have
catapulted them.
created like interpersonal connections in their head with artists that have passed because they read their music like they're talking with this guy.
People create interpersonal connections with artists in general.
Yeah.
That's something that I tell artists about a lot is by making yourself available on social media very frequently, people will start to see your face the same amount of times that they even see their family's face,
Facts.
their friends' faces. And like, someone like Clavicular, people will act like they know him whenever they're talking about him because he sits there for hours and hours and tells you what he thinks all day. And then at the end of it, you come out thinking you know this person better. Because truly
Facts.
you do.
And then you kind of feel like, oh, I know what I would say if I saw him. I know how this conversation would go. I
And
know
even
what to do,
small
yeah.
artists who are trying to come up need to manipulate that part of human nature by posting themselves frequently. If you're going to put yourself on an album cover, you know what I mean? Have your face there or post like, have like actual posed photo shoots alongside your music videos. Because a music video, $500 to $1,000 right off rip. If you're going for $100, $200 photo shoot and you get 5 or 6 posts out of that, you know what I mean? Like you can continue to get in people's faces really frequently without having to. Okay, every single post is costing me $1,000. You know what I mean? It starts to get pricey. And so being able to
True.
find a niche as far as this is how I look good, my angles, you know what I mean?
That-
I have
yeah.
clothes that I'm confident in. Like that's
Bro,
a
and
lot
just
of things
like,
have to come
I
together.
don't know. I also just feel like people take themselves too seriously. Like you just gotta just fuck around, have some fun. Like
Yeah.
Like I had a whole series I was doing where I was posting old reactions of me making listening to horrible songs I made.
Yeah.
And some of them were good. Some of
Yeah.
them were like there was some good lines, but it
Mhm.
was just like, bro, I don't care if this gets 100 views or if this gets 300,000 views. It's just like this is funny. It's fuck around, whatever. And
Yeah.
then I'd have other clips where I'm just like I just do a raw take freestyle, just like one go, boom, all right, post it.
Sure, exactly.
And then like
but that's repeatable.
you know,
You could do that
exactly.
every single
That's
day
what
if
I
you
want,
wanted
though.
to.
I want exactly. So it's like I want to be able to have something that's like Gary. You know who Gary V is?
Mhm.
Gary V has the conversation with his like students of like punch hook,
Mhm.
right? So it's like if you can have 1 or 2
Don't tell me you
series,
paid Gary Vee.
hell no.
Okay.
But I have Instagram. But like if you have like 1 or 2 series that you post every day, twice or 3 times a day, every day. And then you have one piece of content that like maybe per month, like it's from an event you did in real life. You take a lot of time and you make it very professional.
Yeah.
That video might pop off because the algorithm's already benefiting from like your consistency.
Yes, it
And then
starts
you
to
get
hide
like
you
something that's like,
if you don't post for a long time.
yeah,
Like there's like a misconception that less is more, but it's really not. Like if you are schizophrenically posting 5 times a day, you will outperform the fuck out of somebody that's just posting 1 time a year. Unless you're literally the person posting 1 time a year has ascended past the need to put themselves
Yeah.
in your face every
like
day.
once you're already notarized.
If you're fucking Drake, you can
Yeah.
post whenever you want.
If you're notarized.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the thing that's interesting is with those people don't even get the most benefit from their posts on their stuff.
Yeah.
It's like because at that point everybody you have like you go from followers to fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you've hit followers to fans ratio, like and it's about the same. Like you have 100,000 fans
Yeah.
and 100,000 followers.
Right.
All those people are recreating your content and re-sampling your content and putting your song in the background of edits and TikToks and dances and
Yeah,
this
fans
and
are
that.
the ones that come and
Yeah.
they come to shows.
Haters too.
They buy merch. Haters buy merch. That's another example. Actually, this kind of ties back to 6ix9ine that you were mentioning earlier. Because I was looking at some metrics, and it was like 98% of the posts, like the replies to 6ix9ine's Instagram posts, were overwhelmingly negative. Like just everyone taking the piss out of him, right? But his merch was selling out in 30 seconds of him posting it on his website for that entire stretch. Like, I can't even imagine why. If I hate this guy enough to post about his thing, why would I buy his merch?
Dude.
But it works and it sells like crazy.
Bro, you want to hear something that'll break your brain? They said that there was a Yale study that came out that
Mhm.
77% of all fucking comments on everybody's reels are AI generated.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and the way the algorithm deems what to make the posts about
Mhm.
is dependent on the opposite of what they think your political stance is. So if you're a Republican, you'll see extremist Democrat opinions. And if you're a Democrat, you'll see extremist Republican opinions. And it paves this narrative in our minds that we're all extremists on opposite sides. So everybody in the world that I don't know is some crazy liberal that's got a fucking tail.
Anyone to the left of me is a communist.
Yes.
Anyone to the right of me is a Nazi.
Exactly.
This is my political opinion.
On the money.
And I'm very unique.
On the money. And the thing is like, I probably do an interview show. I talk to all types of people.
Yeah.
Nobody is that extreme.
No.
Nobody. The internet did a great job of tricking everybody into thinking that we have different enemies. We have a common enemy, and it's the
and how
fucking.
can you not understand that anyone that you've ever spoken to about politics was probably being deceived about their opinions too? You know what I mean? Like, there's no one here that has a absolutely clear, unbiased take and knows the right answer. So to treat people as if
it's like religion.
Exactly. People take their politics like religion, and it's really that you have to kind of be fluid, be able to be convinced, because there's something that you might not have known. And
bro,
then
there's
it would
so
change
much.
your opinion.
There's so many opinions I had that I used to care about, and now like I'm so deep in some of the conspiracies with certain things that I'm like, this is the overall conspiracy that I think would fix a lot of people's thought process. And even if it's not true, it benefited my mental health to think this way. I think 90% of politics is predetermined. And I think like the problem is like if you think like that, automatically you can't be fed up.
Yeah.
Because you can't be like, well, we voted for this and he promised this. And I'm like, no, bro, you guys are like tripping. The president and the fucking Congress and shit is all a fucking.
The only way
it's all a facade, bro.
Is if you go up there and try and do it.
But it's all a facade.
Like I almost want to
look
try
at
my
every
hand at politics so I could see what kind of a shithole it is in real life. Like I would rather have like a microphone.
Yeah, you just want to be a fly on the wall.
Seriously, but like if you put me in Congress, I would put a microphone right here, and I would never turn it off. There'd be a 24-hour live feed. Anytime someone's trying to bribe me, or I get pulled into the room and told about all these things I can't tell this public, you're just gonna be right there with me, or I'm not going in the room.
Before I say this, I would never take my own life. But it's like
I would also probably never get elected in the first.
There's
I have a lot of money.
There's a lot of people that are like, oh, I hate that guy because he's bought and paid for. I hate that guy because he's bought and paid for. Most of the time, it's never that simple. It's not, hey, here's $100,000 now, zip your lips. What it really is they FaceTime you. And it's they flip the fucking camera and it's a sniper scope on your mom's head.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, so here's what's going to happen now. You're going to take this $100,000 donation to your $100 million or $1 billion donation to your presidential fee, and I'm gonna make the laws on this, and this. No compromise. And then they go, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing that then.
Yeah,
it's not like these guys are. Think about it. If you're a multi-hundred millionaire, what is another $1 million, $5 million, $10 million if you could generate that from your company every year? If you're printing money at that rate, you're not going to be bought by somebody. It's a threat. It's clear. Like it's obvious logic.
Yeah.
So if all these people that have every single time public servants come in and spoken about one thing their whole life and they get into politics and they have the opposite answer, why do you think that happened? Do you think they just magically changed their mind? Or do you think that their families and friends are threatened? Like it makes so much more sense that that's the case.
I got to see it for myself.
Sorry,
Mom.
It just makes
comes down on my mom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so pissed off, and I'm definitely ringing the bell. Fuck y'all.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying that's why I think like people are bought and paid for.
You can get me too.
Like I think the best example of that is Joe Rogan. Everybody hated Joe Rogan when he took the Spotify deal. I think he was forced to take the Spotify deal. I think it wasn't like, oh,
you're not gonna have to force me to take $50 million.
It's not that. When you're printing money to an audience where you can do any event anywhere and make money and live and survive and have any, like, what in his life would he upgrade? What can't he buy with the way his lifestyle was? He had a nice house. He could fly all over the country. He could do an interview with any celebrity on the fucking planet. He has a wife and kids that he could support and take care of. He's a fucking jujitsu guy and a fucking kickboxer. He's always in the gym or he's fucking doing a podcast. What is he like? I've watched hours of his content. If you have an hour conversation with someone, you can be fake.
Of course.
But if you have thousands of documented hours on the internet, I just don't think, and like it was like you were saying, the perception of you have like the celebrity that you see all the time, you think you know.
I don't think he would have became Joe Rogan if he didn't have that kind of work ethic, though. Like,
the
kind of person who's obsessive about their craft to the point of the number not mattering anymore. Like, yeah, sure, I'm worth so much that the next 4 generations.
That's why I don't think he was like begging on his hands and knees
No.
get Spotify to fucking pay them. I think at some point they were like, listen, bro, you're bigger than everybody on our platform. And if you don't take this fucking money, this is what's going to happen. The people that own Spotify, that people that happen
Sure.
to also maybe own Google, the people that also maybe happen to
Well,
own
an
Disney.
intelligence agency that's deemed it a national security risk if he can say whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Maybe you get someone elected that we haven't approved. You know what I mean? So we have to make sure that you're putting these talking points out. I believe that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's almost self-evident, you know, because it's just like, how can things have even became so retarded? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not moved in a direction that seems to be benefiting anybody, which is weird because someone is claiming to win every 4 years and then things don't improve or
So
get better at all.
I was actually talking about this yesterday. So do you think that there's any level of chance that the next generation that kind of all agrees it's fuck the government and all kind of have such a disassociation with trust in politicians that like we could see some stupidity shit where like a fucking influencer gets like elected? Like we could see, because think about it, Gen Z is a different animal. Like all of us are on the internet and we're more informed and we're more misinformed than ever and we're more uninformed than ever.
Sure.
So we're dumber and smarter at the same time. We know shit we shouldn't know, but we don't know shit we should know.
Of course.
So it's like with that, or is it going to be this thing where like a 35-year-old fresh out that's been on the internet for 10 like are we in a spot where like Jake Paul's finna be running for president? Like,
Well, first off, yes. I think the bigger problem for people is not even being able to trust what they're being told. Like, if you elect somebody on certain premises and then, like you said, they get there and they just take up the opposite stance and you're shit out of luck until the next election cycle. And then maybe they were part of the popular party. And so they're just going to keep shuffling
Yeah.
around people saying the same nothing burger.
but does that matter though? Like, is
The
there
gap-
actually a difference in the sides? Like, that's my whole argument. Like, it might not be.
I think the
the
lack of
difference.
accountability from either side is being felt by everybody. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so what voters will demand across the board is accountability across both parties.
Mhm.
That's probably the most important shift we can make. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, people are lying to us. We need things to change as far as actually holding
Have-
people responsible for lying. You know, so that's, if that doesn't change, then whatever. But that needs to happen. And there's a lot of things that we're also not being told about the political process, because obviously people are being allowed to hold power that are pieces of shit and
Yeah.
are doing things that are horrible. And the reason they're being allowed to hold power is because that it makes them compromised. Like, they can be controlled.
Mhm.
Someone like Swalwell, you know, the fucking Democratic runner-up who is going to be on the ballot and refusing to rescind himself so that the main Democratic candidate could go up front.
Who's that going to be?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It's for the gubernatorial race. This is California governor.
Yeah.
Okay. And the problem was that it was going to be a runoff, and the two highest polling people were polling at like 15% each, so it wasn't that high. But there were two Republicans, and the way that the runoff rules work is there's only be the top two candidates. So the California governor's race have two Republicans in it. Obviously, that's retarded, right? So
Yeah.
Democratic party wanted to consolidate under one candidate. Well, Swalwell wasn't going, and they made him go. And basically, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have like 20 years of rape allegations right now, like basically a month out from the election." And now he stepped down from Congress. Like,
Yep.
it's over for him.
It's
And you have to wonder, like,
Yeah.
20 years of doing this horrible shit, like, you know what I mean, making a subordinate suck your dick. Why wouldn't that have been a bigger problem? Like, you know what I mean? If that happened in the 2000s, you know, it's probably a good chance you could have gotten him removed with this scandal from
Years ago.
earlier and gotten a nice payout.
That's
Like,
a good point.
yeah, like if you're an employee and you report that
Someone
your
was getting
boss
paid.
tried to make you suck their dick, that boss is gonna get raked over the coals if they're not like the CEO top. If they're not the actual
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
president, you know what I mean? It's gonna be
So
really
it's like-
hard to imagine a world where that boss wouldn't be held accountable. So you have to wonder, like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why? Why is it right now, a month out, when we really need you to drop out and you're not going? We're gonna just force you out. Why does it feel like that's the case for every politician? Is there some sort of
Yeah.
compromising information that would have made them step down if it was inconvenient?
Have you ever seen in South Park the way they break down Democrats and Republicans?
No.
Instead of Democrats and Republicans, they call them giant douches and turd sandwiches.
Oh, that's pretty accurate.
And I kind of like took that a step farther and like kind of got analytical with it.
Sure.
So I was thinking from the point of like an oligarchy, right? So if
Mhm.
you had an oligarchy of a country,
Certainly.
let's just speak as professionals.
Right.
So
well,
if we have an oligarchy of a country,
you're talking
hypothetically,
about 80 countries.
hypothetically, any country, right? and you wanted to make changes over time to a population and make changes over time to the rules of a society, but you didn't want backlash and you needed somebody to take the forefront of the blame, hypothetically, what characteristics would you look like in that person, hypothetically? So my two thought processes is you would either want somebody that's so naive that they don't know the shit that you're doing, so they don't ask questions, or you'd want someone that's so fucked up in the head that they're okay with the shit that you're doing, so they don't, or they're also doing the shit that you're doing,
Sure, well,
so that you're not going to speak about it.
You're still describing two, like you were saying earlier, the two extremes that are being presented at all times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's very little representation of the center opinion, which is probably a lot more checkered than people think. You know what I mean?
Opinion wise, but I'm saying representative. Look at Biden, and I'm describing Biden and Trump, if
Sure.
you couldn't tell. Like I was
Sure.
saying, like you got the naive man that literally didn't even know he was president.
Mhm.
Like, bro, they had to like remind him. They were like, yo, dog, Mr. President.
Sure,
They're
yeah,
talking to you.
that debate was really scary. That didn't seem like it seemed close to elder abuse.
There was.
And the thing too is like, you know, a lot of people see things in good versus evil, and it's really not that simple in my opinion. Because yeah, obviously, you know, I mean, there's a naive old man on one side, and then there's as others would argue, a naive old man on the other side. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, there's really not a lot of agency once you get to that level. Like, if you're president, do you think
You've
they're
got
calling the
a
shots?
well-spoken naive old man and a
Eh,
not so well-spoken naive young old man.
Fuck. Yeah, no, he's got some fucking one-liners though. I'll give him that. But the problem I think is that it doesn't even have anything to do with those people. The problem is how things will shake out down the board. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
100%.
And that's because when was the last time a federal policy really affected you? You
Yeah,
know what
I
It's
say
been
that to
so
people all the
fucking
time.
long.
I think most things in that are true with that, and even things that do affect you, they just use it as excuses. Like that's why I keep thinking shit's predetermined. Like
Right.
I think it's just
Well, how many people that were like militant about the presidential campaign, they should be that militant about their local campaigns.
yeah.
Like, you need to be looking at the
But what if
representatives that are right next to you, because
that-
they're going to make laws that affect you.
That would make
Especially if-
sense.
when you have a larger and larger stake. Like, if you're not living in a country or not living in a county as a property owner, you know what I mean? You're not really at the whim of a lot of that county's decision making. But okay, you're successful. Time to get a house. These suddenly affect me now. And I spent so much time yelling about Trump or Biden that this happened right under my nose. Maybe there's people that are arguing against data centers right now. They don't want that in the area. So, you know what I mean? If you didn't get up off your ass and start telling your council people at the city council
Yeah.
what you wanted them to do, you can't really be mad whenever shit happens
I
to
agree.
you.
I talk about it all the time. It's like, how the fuck are you gonna bitch about something you didn't even you're not even trying to change?
Seriously.
Yeah.
And it's like, whenever I'm living on a day-to-day basis, you know what I mean? It's really, I think there's just a disconnect. Like, people are worried about things that they can't change and that barely even affect them. And you get to the point where things start to affect you and it's bad and you have to reverse it because you weren't paying attention in the first place. You know what I mean? And people barely have time to. Like, if you're doom scrolling and getting your information that way, you're probably not very politically informed. Just full stop. If you're just reading headline after headline after headline. And even if you spend time reading articles, I mean, the people that are informing you are also uninformed. Like, it's really not a lot that you can go and get reliable information
Bro,
from.
it's either
It benefits you to worry about things that pay you. You know what I mean?
this
Like,
is
if
just
you're-
this is just a fact right here. If you read the news, you're misinformed. But if you don't read the news, you're uninformed.
if you polarize enough people in the audience that they don't tune in to RC podcast, you know what I mean? That's not going to benefit you.
Yeah.
Versus focusing on putting out good content and, getting creative people up. That's what benefits you. And there's so many friends that I've seen on social media who have lost the plot and now just basically use it as some giant, political billboard. You know what I mean? I feel like it's disingenuous. You know what I mean? Especially
Definitely.
whenever you want to be in support. Like, vote with your wallet. Donate. You know what I mean? If you only spoke about causes you were supporting with the amount of money that you've put behind it, then, that at least lend you some more credibility in my mind.
Maybe.
I don't think alienating your friends that maybe don't agree with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even understand that shit at all. I understand the concept of generalization of characteristics of a certain people,
Sure.
and
sure.
like understanding like, I don't know if they'd be a great hang, but
Exactly.
But
I feel like
what
on a
yeah.
broad basis, if someone's a good hang, we agree on pretty much everything. You know what I mean? Like that's just there you go. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think there's anybody on the planet that has such extreme beliefs that you wouldn't be able to get along with them, except for like the million people we hear from every day. You know what I mean? It is 5
It's
billion of us, right?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. That's a clip. But yeah, like that's definitely true. I think like it's a strange thing though, because I'm so analytical in the way that I break people down and like the way I think, that like I see the highs and lows of like people even in that realm. Like I see the like,
Sure. Oh God,
I
forbid.
read
Could
through
you
the line.
imagine if your income was derived from being a political commentator? How many times you would basically have to just put your foot in your mouth, like you're being forced to. Like the talking point regurgitated for your side is factually incorrect,
Bro,
and now
it's-
you have
yeah.
to walk it back. I see this happen to political influencers on like a monthly basis. You know, like several times a year. There's some broad statement. Oh, I was completely lied to. I reported on the wrong story. Blah blah blah. That sucks dick. That's what
well, it's like,
I'm happy being.
bro,
an
look at
engineer.
look at the red pill content. Like it's
No,
like when it
that
first
doesn't-
when it first started,
no.
when it first started, it was just obvious ass things that everybody was thinking and just wouldn't say out loud. Like
Sure.
it would just be like
But it's the
you
same
guys
as doom
know it
scrolling
was
and
like
brain rot.
well
Like, you just
it
start
literally
to get-
started out like the first like viral thing
Yeah.
was that men are men and women are women. Like that was like the most whoa like
Yeah,
and
everyone
then
kick it off.
it got so fucking crazy that they had to start saying the wildest disrespectful shit to people because their headline got smaller and smaller and smaller the less and less obvious of things they were saying.
Yeah.
So it was like, fuck, how do we get back to the headline? So now they're having to say this diabolical shit that they don't even really believe. It's more of just like a satirical meme at this point
Yeah.
that people take serious, and it's a joke. But when
Seriously.
it first started, it was necessary. The world was losing its fucking mind. Like there were like you need the extremes to balance sometimes. Like you need that like bro, people were literally fucking arguing over like how to go to the bathroom and shit. Like it was like, bro, do you remember that? Like there was like a whole that was like the
Yeah.
biggest thing in social media. It was like transgenders can't go in the bathrooms, and it was like, oh my god, where are the 6 trans people gonna relieve themselves?
Yeah, I was laughing
Like-
with my brother about that the other day because he's trans. He's female and male. And we got back into Austin, and my wife was sick. So she's going to throw up in the female bathroom. And I was like, hey, go check on her. Because in Texas, you'd have to. You know what I mean? That was what was hilarious. And so, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I'm an ally. I get it. But there is a lot of ridiculousness that is pushed by people who consider themselves trans activists that I feel like haven't really bothered to ask a trans person.
Yeah.
Because if you ask my brother, I mean, he probably agrees with most of the red pill content anyway. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
sure.
bro.
Like, you don't think, what's his
Dude.
name? Leah Thomas should have been swimming in that split.
No.
No, that doesn't
It's like
make any sense.
there's a oh my god, there's a great South Park episode.
But the
That's so
trans
good.
people will see that and they're like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't want to be made out to be the enemy here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want to be left alone. You know what I mean? And basically represented as normal like everyone else. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? You got 90% of people that won't really think twice about things going on until there's someone who's 6'5" competing with a bunch of like 5'9" girls. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
that's a little bit, we're pushing it. You
I
know
make
what
a
mean?
little bit of comedy about that. Like it's like, bro, I don't care at all what you do. Just like do like your whole argument for what you wanted was to be treated like everybody else.
Like, okay, maybe this is wrong of me, but if she hadn't won, it wouldn't have been a problem. Like, you know what I mean? If Leah Thomas raced with the girls and then got like 20th place, you know what I mean? Everyone would have been like, hey, good for you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's great. Good job. Even though
well,
you're,
it's especially
look like
bad
a
when
man.
it's especially bad when we get to like combat sports.
oh, yeah.
Like, bro,
I mean,
like you're gonna have a 6'4" African chick.
but you have to weigh in, though. That's the part of it that I like. Is like if you were to do something professional, you know what I mean? Like they're going to roughly
Bro,
get your
my
body
seven-
sizes.
my 17-year-old brother would beat the living dog shit out of 93% of grown ass women. It doesn't
Sure.
that are his weight. Like,
Sure,
you
sure.
know, it's not a matter of if it's like weight or what, bro. There's testosterone and there's not testosterone.
Right,
Like,
right,
it's
right.
like-
And the way testosterone changes the way that
Yeah.
your body is shaped throughout adolescence is really important because I
Yeah.
mean you're really not able to ethically put a 6-year-old on testosterone
Yeah.
because they can't tell you that they're in the wrong body. Really, that doesn't make any sense to them yet. So, there's no way you're going to be able to compete biologically. I feel like, when it comes to sports, combat sports, competitive sports, it's super nuanced. And, you don't want to exclude anyone because really it's not that deep. But whenever it comes to, biological differences, I think respecting them is really important. And, part of, I think, respecting it would be just like, okay, let's have a trans category. You know what I mean? That makes a
Hey,
lot of
shit.
sense to me. Fuck yeah, that'd probably be
Trans
great.
champs.
That'd be fucking great. You know what I mean? And that way there's inclusion and there's not any sort of, I feel like, this result would have been different if you were excluded.
The UTC. Wait, that kind of sounds like an STD.
Right. but like allowing people to kind of have ownership of their own identity is where we'll move to. I think people will get to that quickly where it's like, okay, we don't have to step on each other's toes here. There's enough people. You know, we're good. We can start to allow people to identify as themselves, and we don't have to make people conform to that either. You know what I mean? Like if you want to live in, a world where you don't have to acknowledge people, you're dead naming them all the time. Sure, that's fine. And the trans person that you're dead naming can choose whether or not to be friends with you. You know what I mean?
Also
if you want to just disrespect
I would
them
even say
completely.
9.5 out of 10 times people aren't purposely being disrespectful either. Like it's like
True.
like most times people that get like sensitive about shit are just so deeply insecure that they're just assuming they're being attacked. Like most people don't give a fuck about other people that much. You know what I mean? Most people aren't like like when they're
And
like,
there's people that like being victims too.
yo, what's
what I
up?
mean?
Like if I'm
there's
like, yo, what's good, sir? And then the person turns around and they're like,
that.
sir.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
seriously.
like, bro, I didn't know. Like, my bad. I was just trying to be respectful. Like I'm walking past you.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. And like, that's again, most people, we want to be respectful, want to mind, being a good neighbor. You know
Most
what I mean?
people are cool. That's what my whole point is.
Yeah,
Most
if you're a
people,
good hang,
most people are chill. It's just those like, it's like we were saying, the whole theme of this episode so far has just been like extremity. And it's just like, if you've got that perception that everybody's
seriously.
out to get you, it's like
Right.
schizophrenic, bro.
Yeah, and I feel like Kanye got us onto this, and that's so true though, because that's definitely someone who suffers from, I think, the extremes that his career has taken him to. Like, obviously being at the
Saw
top.
the time with the Kardashians, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean that kind of wealth is kind of scary. You know what I mean? Once you get to billionaire status where money doesn't matter at all anymore, I feel like they start losing touch with humanity to such a degree that like they don't really see the wrong in a lot of things, and that's you kind of have to just be a grounded,
Especially
rooted person.
Imagine like there's like I talk about this all the time. The people that are rich that explode a lot of the time didn't do what they were supposed to do to get rich. Like they weren't fulfilled. Like they either took a shortcut or like they're doing something the wrong way or they're bought out and paid for, whatever it is. The people that are doing what they're passionate about their whole life and they're rich, most of the time those people are so fulfilled. They're just normal. They have they have a wife, they have kids.
Seriously.
Like they're fulfilled in what their journey's supposed to be. And like that's why I feel like a lot of the craziness happens because it's like, bro, how the fuck can a Kardashian be fulfilled? They never even had talent. They were just like marketed by their rich mom, and then they became billionaires from having BBLs. Like literally though, like like name anything that any of them have done.
That's open clothing lines, but yeah, you know what I mean. Obviously, I can respect the hustle.
It's insane. I'm not disrespecting the hustle. I'm saying you're a producer. I make music. I do comedy. Like it's like, what niche do any of them have that they're great at?
True. And also I feel like there's because you could sacrifice everything for notoriety or more pay or whatever. Like, okay, if you want to achieve billionaire status at any cost, like that path is available to you. But like you were saying, having a wife and kids isn't so bad. And the thing that I value a lot about that life is being able to relate to people on a human level. I feel like in a lot of ways, if you're a billionaire, you really kind of lose touch with your ability to connect with people.
True.
Because you have to rephrase the entire world around, I've been one way. Like, obviously, I don't consider myself to have grown up poor. So I really don't claim that when I'm rapping. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't, because it's not part of my identity. And for a lot of people, it is, you know what I mean? And so I wouldn't want to take that away from them or almost belittle that by trying to claim that I was also raised like that. Because, I mean, in a lot of ways, I was raised in a household that was perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like, there's really not a lot to complain about. Parents are fucking awesome. They took care of things. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I wasn't worried about that a lot of people were worried about. So understanding that boundary and, making sure that I didn't try and relate to somebody that I truly couldn't. You know what I mean? Has been part of me navigating the world. Now, you're a billionaire. You take that feeling and multiply it by a billion because I felt that way. I didn't have any money of my own. You know what I mean? It was just due to the
Yeah,
circumstances.
that shit's fucking crazy.
And so, you were born on a private jet. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, there's silver spoon doesn't even begin to
This is
scrape the surface.
Disassociation from reality.
Dissociation from reality and the inability to re-associate, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like,
I think there is special cases though where like you see people that you can't tell are rich, like that they didn't change from it at all. I don't know.
Sure.
I kind of think those that became rich
first generation
versus like were rich, like the money didn't change them. The money allowed them to be who they already were.
right.
So
right.
it's like if you're a fucking generous ass motherfucker that was giving your last fucking nug to somebody to smoke with you, or you were like driving your homie and never charging gas money, and you were a real one and you were helping your friend with homework or learning another language or whatever you was doing, you was always hustling and you were always that guy. You're just gonna be that and more tenfold when you get that money. But if you were a fucking arrogant motherfucker, a crash out, like you're gonna be 20 times worse because now you're like, I could throw money at my problems and they'll go away. Now you'll go fight a guy in the club that you might not have before because you could pay the lawyer fee.
yeah.
Now you'll up the stick at somebody for no reason. Like you're like
That's
the crash
true.
outs are crash outs 10 times worse because they're like, I got lawyers now. I could get
Yeah.
out of this shit.
That's true.
And it amplifies who you already are.
I feel like that's just a factor of money anyways. Like your money amplifies what you are, and part of being genuine to yourself. I mean, I feel like that can happen underneath like 10 million. If you have less than 10 million, you're probably still got your head on straight. You know what I mean? But after that, the world
Shit.
starts getting wonky.
I don't know. I think a lot of people get fucked when they hit 100K. Like I think a lot of people like most people don't make 100K a year and have 100K in their bank account. It's
Sure.
like
But
it's
I mean,
like
100K isn't so far to fall.
but when
honestly.
it's not, but like to someone that had zero for 10 years and then you make a song, like you get that first 100K check
True.
from a record label, you'd think you just changed your whole life. You're like, bro, I couldn't get $50 last week and now I got 100K in my hand. And that's what happens to these fucking retarded ass artists. They sign these label deals where they're like, I'm going to go sign for 500K for 5 years. And then they're looking at the contract and every single song is fully owned by the media, by the team. Every single amount of music you post per time when you post is all controlled.
Yeah.
You take away your artistry completely. And then not only that, but then in your fucking contract, they're like, you must spend this much on jewelry. You must have this many famous women in your videos. You must have, and then all of a sudden that 100K dwindles down to like 3 bands. And so what? You're making 3 bands a year. That's your money, and maybe you get to drive around some fancy cars and cool shit for videos and whatever. Maybe your life looks a little cooler, but you don't own anything.
Yeah, and that's that's a business model that a lot of the industry has adopted, and I feel like it's on its way out because a lot of artists just are refusing to accept those terms anymore. So there's a lot of independent artistry. There's a lot of talented clippers and videographers that are working with artists on a one-on-one basis. And I mean, what would a label source for you that you can't get now? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's a lot of access. And the thing that I think people are unwilling to part with is their masters, right? So you want to have ownership. And whenever you're in a situation, I mean, like, Bieber's on Coachella playing shit off of YouTube because he's not even fucking allowed to perform his own music. Like, he would have to have paid out some of his Coachella earnings to do that. So, gotta go to YouTube, guys. Like, all that shit kind of just seems like the worst case scenario in a lot of artists' minds. And
Yeah.
it truly is, though. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you want to own the music that you've written and spent all this time with, and it's emotionally very personal to you? And in 2026, it's never been more possible for you to create good enough music to be able to have ownership. You know
I'm
what I mean?
so actually pissed that Kid Leroy signed with Justin Bieber. Like that actually pissed me off. Like his sound is not the same anymore.
Yeah.
It was so much his old sound. If he matured that sound, like obviously it wouldn't sound the same, but if he matured from that point of view,
He was
rather
being
than
developed by Juice.
yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but
and that
it was
was
the
whenever
it was
he
the
was
it was
really on
the
it.
producers though. It was that
Mhm.
was what it was because Kid Leroy and Juice only went on tour a couple times.
Mhm.
The real like reason that he was that good is because that specific producer who I can't remember his name right now,
Mhm.
but that Young Money, isn't it? I swear it is, but I might be bugging. But that motherfucker's raw as shit, and Kid Leroy was sing rapping. Like he
Yeah.
was actually doing what you're supposed to do when you have that kind of voice. And then they made him try to be like a Justin Bieber clone, and he has some good songs in it. It's not that goosebumps shit that you used to get from his music.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of artists too. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to develop into an artist that sells records.
Sounds soulless though.
Yeah, even if it does sound soulless, I mean, the fucking Stay song has like 2 billion plays or something ridiculous.
Yeah, but
You know,
that shit was
was-
made when he was still with Young Money.
How many of those do you really need to make?
Yeah. But
You know,
I think that
you
first
go do arena tours
dude,
the
do
rest
you
of your
remember?
life.
Do you remember during COVID he did a? Yeah, you're right. Do you remember during COVID he did the virtual stream?
Yeah.
He played Stay. He played Same Energy,
Mhm.
and one other song. I don't remember what it was called right now, but
Yeah.
like the energy was like a kid from fucking Australia with a microphone in his hand, in his fucking jeans, and he just took his shirt off and he was just screaming in his own living room
Yeah.
to a fucking million fucking audience on the internet because nobody was doing shit during COVID.
Seriously, everyone's
And
free.
all those songs are better than anything he's put out since then.
Mhm.
And it's like, that shit was like 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like, he's so talented, clearly. Like, you could, you know what I mean?
Like, because I mean, when a label gets their hands on a super big artist like that, their idea of development is a lot more than just making you develop artistically. It's about developing your revenues, right? So it's like, okay, we're gonna do a bunch of shows, we're gonna make a bunch of merch, you're gonna do a bunch of commercials and this and that and the third, and that's what the agency wants them to do because those make money, like right up front. Streams suck dick for making money. You're not
Yeah.
gonna make any money off of just making a record that gets streamed a lot. You really be able to milk it whenever you start showing up in person, doing things live. And
Yeah,
that takes up
absolutely.
a ton of your time, you know. So whenever you go from being able to basically be a streamer songwriter for 24 hours a day to maybe like 2 hours a day max, you know what I mean? Because you're
That's a
just
good point.
doing other
That's
shit.
kind of why I don't like. That's kind of why I kind of let music come to me instead of like dedicating time to make music. Like
Yeah.
I'm more involved in the niche of things because even when life picks up in pace, I'll still be able to sit in the car sometimes and just
Yeah,
And then-
yeah. Some of the best shit I ever wrote was on the back of a napkin. Like whenever I was a
Yeah.
host at a restaurant, you know, because it was just like I was not able to create whenever the creativity struck me, and I had to get creative about how I recorded it, you know, in any format. And so it'd be like, okay, I just thought of some lyrics. Let me write that down so I don't forget it later. Now it's like shit. The studio's like right next to where I sleep, so you know I don't really have to worry too much about getting an idea out. And sometimes that's made me lazy and comfortable, kind of. In some ways, whenever I listen to old writings, I feel like I've lost my edge. But I also don't really make money by being a vocalist anymore, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
I worked at an ice rink for a long time,
Yeah.
and I used to drive the Zamboni.
Yeah,
And I'd be on the Zamboni and get an idea, pull the Zamboni off the ice, and just
and you
write
write
it in
it.
my notepad.
And like, you know, the stuff that you're coming up with then is just like pure edge, pure like I need to get this out.
Yeah.
This is speaking to me right now.
What's pissing me off though is I don't have that capability to like understand what a beat would be like to a certain sound.
I'm the
Like-
opposite. I'll be like, hey, man, like if I come up with some idea, I'll be like, damn, I might as well just make the beat because I'm probably never gonna record the lyrics. But if I make the beat, I'll sell it. You know? What
Yeah.
I mean? Like, that's,
I never can't like I don't understand like I have cadence on like 3 songs and we're gonna record all 3 of them and
Mhm.
I have a beat for them now, but like even like just finding the beat is so weird for me because it's like it's never exactly what I wanted, but it's kind of close.
yeah.
But like once I could get to that point where I could figure out a way to describe what's in my head to someone I'm working with consistently,
Start making beats, bro. It's easy.
I hate it. I hate making beats. That's the only thing. Like it's like
You just haven't found the process for you yet.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like people will kind of when they step into beat making, it kind of takes a few, months.
I don't
honestly.
even like making music. It's crazy. Like I love freestyling. I love like writing, but like I hate the process of sitting there and like autistically clicking the same thing over and over again and getting it just right. Like
Yeah, that's my life. So
you
Yeah,
love
I
it.
love
But that's
that
what I'm
shit,
saying. But
yeah.
I don't like. That's the whole reason I need producers. Like it's like I can't like this. I love. I love sitting here and shooting this shit and talking
Yeah.
about life and that I could do automatically. I never get tired of that.
All
So
day,
I could
yeah.
do this anytime.
Mhm.
And this is fun. This isn't effort for me. I work after this. I'm not going to be drained. You
Sure,
know.
exactly.
Fucking. But like. I can't like even when I have a friend here that is great at making music, like I hate recording. Like it's like something about it. It's not flow state a lot of the time. It's like,
Mm.
oh, like I'm trying to get it just right, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes, like for the artist, it can kind of feel like you're forcing it or it's a chore. You know what
Yeah.
I mean,
I just like that authenticity. Like put the camera on, let me show you what I could do.
yeah,
And like that shit is like, I don't know. Like I need to just figure out a process that's better. And one thing that's worked
Yeah.
for me is like writing songs, showing them to a lot of people, getting them memorized, getting them right, and then going into the studio with it like ready to go, so it's authentic and
Yeah,
it's like it's from the
seriously.
heart.
and you can kind of refine your delivery
Yeah.
whenever you know what to do
And then
over and over. and
what
over.
pisses me off is I show enough people and people get in my head. They're like, "Dude, you should do it like this instead."
Everyone has a fucking opinion. and I
Yeah.
hate that. If you get shown a piece of music and you weren't asked to give an opinion, please don't fucking say anything.
Yeah,
I'm trying to show it to you so I can read your reactions, basically.
I need you to tell me if it's good or bad. And you could be honest if it's bad. That's fine.
Please tell me.
But don't tell me this, that, and the third, because chances are you don't know. But if you hear it and it's bad, then sure, you could say that. Like, I value my wife's opinion on my music very, very highly because she never minces any words. She'll tell me, it's like, hey, I don't like that at all. And then that's just enough because I don't need to know, like, oh, this was bad or you should try this or you should, like, all this bullshit. It's just this. I didn't like this, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, great. Let me change that. You
It's
know?
also like you already have this like misguided thought process on who you are as an artist. Because like the person you sound
Yeah.
like to yourself is never what other people hear.
sure,
And it's
sure.
the strangest phenomenon. Like
Yeah.
people will be like, dude, your voice sounds crazy there. I'm like, that's the one part I was insecure about in the song. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, that shit sounds weird as hell. And then people are like, that's the reason I like this song.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, so that's maybe not how I actually sound, or maybe they're I don't know.
Well, there's some science behind it. Like you have bones going between your ears and your mouth that whenever you speak, the vibrations travel through them and they get straight to your eardrums. Versus whenever you're hearing somebody, it's just sound coming into your eardrums. And so the bone sound transfers it like there's like this bass
Yeah.
note that you hear whenever you speak.
So it's so weird to have like you definitely have that ear to like catch yourself even or like someone
Sure.
else where it's like
Oh, that hasn't made me a good vocalist. I'll tell you that. I have to do so much post processing whenever I record. It's actually such a chore. And, Melodyne and shit like that all over my voice. And
I think when
recording.
I'm rapping and I catch flow state, it's you don't have to do that much editing. The problem is like when that record button hits, I'm in my head already thinking I have 1 minute.
yeah,
I have 1 minute and 12 seconds.
yeah,
And then I'm like, fuck, now I'm like rushing into the verse versus I think what would be best for me is just looping a spot and just freestyling.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do like a song on off the cuff, like in the moment
Yeah.
and just taking shit down and re-chopping shit up and playing with it. And then like the problem with that is like I'm paying for hours. So I want to get stuff out of it. So it's like
course.
I might get one really, really good song doing that. But if I come in with a bunch of written stuff, it's so much fucking faster, more efficient.
and
so
you
it's like,
have a lot whenever you go home, which is something that's really important to me as an engineer is to really make sure that the artist that I'm working with
Yeah.
has something. You
because
know what
I
mean?
think
Like,
for sure, if I get 3 hours, I'll get the 3 songs done. And I'm hoping to fuck around on this other beat that I have that's a completely
right. I
different
love
beat.
I like being able to do that for artists. Though. Try and work as quickly as possible because really at the end of the day, you need to have a lot to be able to start developing your in your own mind. Like,
Yeah.
it's always the delta.
Plus, at the
between
very
first
least, I
and
could use-
second sessions. That is just like, okay, now I got the sound. Now I know how I'm gonna.
Plus, I'm one of those people that anytime I make a clip about anything, I'm using my music.
Yeah.
Because why the fuck would I use someone else's music?
Yeah.
Like, why eventually am I gonna start making money off this and have to deal with like, oh, you have Drake's song on the shit? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's
Seriously,
my
yeah,
song.
you get DC made, and like you're speaking for an hour, and it's just the first 5 seconds you get DC
Yeah.
made. Fuck that.
It's
Yeah.
my song. Fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's your song, and then you have so much more control over it, and especially with the beat making too. So
Plus,
many
I
artists
could
get
line
into
shit
trouble.
up. I could line a song up to an edit.
Mhm.
Like, I could just do a freestyle, extract the audio. Boom.
Seriously, I've been considering getting some video editing software and doing my own clipping, either for myself or to start selling that service because
CapCut.
people are making some buku bucks off of that
CapCut.
shit. Yeah,
It's goated.
fucking crazy.
It's cheap too. It's like $6 a month or something. And it's like,
Sure.
And it's
That's all day.
Bro, they have a feature on there. I'm gonna show you after we get off the stream.
Sure,
bro.
yeah.
It's- You literally click, bro. I should not tell people this, but you literally click auto cut.
Yeah.
You click photos and videos, like
Mhm.
as many as you want.
Yeah.
You put a prompt in, and it gives you 40 options of a fucking 1 minute video that could go viral of like just an edit with that picture
That's
that you put
badass.
on.
This is in CapCut.
Yes, bro. And
I'm gonna
it's
go check
like, bro,
that.
literally this morning, like today, you were on the way. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm on the way. And I'm like, fuck, I couldn't remember if you lived 30 minutes or an hour. So I'm like, I don't think I have time to take a nap.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like laying in bed on CapCut. I made 9 edits in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Just
badass.
bing, 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 bing. And I was just like, I just sent like 6 of them to my friend that's a comedian. And he just responded tough and with caps. And I was just like, bro, that shit took me 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
I was like, now I have 5 days of content that
That's
could
awesome.
get 1,000 views each minimum.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's like,
And again, just shots on the board, bro. Just continuing to make high volume of content. And then I tell artists too, creating opportunity is so important. Like, even if it feels like, because you do have to go out of your way to create an opportunity for yourself. Like, I'm going to open up for this artist. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it might not work the first time. You have to do it multiple times because every single thing you do is going to have the same likelihood as if you were to go and post it on the internet. You know
I have a
what I mean?
song called Shots in the Gym, but
Yeah.
not Shots on the Board. But yeah, like did you remember when like Drake and Kendrick had the beef? And like,
Yeah.
and J. Cole did his like 7-minute drill, which was like
Mhm.
the sneak diss on both sides of it.
Yeah.
And I took that beat after J. Cole took the beat down because I was so mad because that beat's so tough.
Yeah.
And I did a whole song on it. And there's you know how like the beat transitions from like fast to like that boom, like and it goes into like that slow part.
Yeah.
Right as that happens, I said all this fire in this booth causing, or all this heat in this booth causing casualties.
Yeah.
L.A. Because it was like right during the L.A. fires.
Fuck,
And I was
crazy.
like, wait, is that too soon? And I just had it in the vault for so long that now.
Might be a little too soon.
But I did post. Well, I couldn't even post it anyway. I don't have
I
the.
think
It's
you
not,
could posted it today.
it's not
That's
my
probably
beat.
fine.
it's not my beat.
Oh, okay.
Like
fuck it,
it's
right,
the
yeah.
fucking J. Cole beat.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I mean, it's not
He
out.
took it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
shit,
So
fuck
could
it.
I put?
It probably wouldn't be in the AI detection that just like automatically flags whenever someone's ripped a sample or something. But eventually, just tell your fans not to be snitches, okay?
Yeah.
Just if you listen
It's
to
so
it.
clearly obviously that beat. It's like the whole beat. Like, but I remixed it for myself more than anything. It was the one that was in the little like highlight trailer I
Sure,
showed
you
you.
can put it on SoundCloud, I'm sure.
I literally
They
just
don't
posted
take
it. I
anything
posted it on Instagram. I was just fucking around.
Awesome.
Like
That's
I have like a video of me reacting to it because like the way I come on the beat pause was fucking
Wow.
it was was absolutely fucking fire. Like it was one of those rare times where I felt like I sounded good in my ears. Like I was like
Yeah.
like right in the beginning.
Feel that.
So that was I made that song purposely as like a workout song. Like I wanted like a fast pace that was like when I'm lifting, it's like like it's literally called shots in the gym. Like
Okay.
it's the whole song's about effort and like putting in repetition to
There you
things.
go, yeah.
So I was like, bro, that's literally a fucking gym song. Like you're getting reps in, you're being motivational. Like
Yeah.
the way I feel like rapping, I said the way I feel while rapping is like shooting in the gym. The more shots that I take, the more shots the more shots that go in.
There you go.
I said,
see, that's fucking truth. That's bars.
Yeah, that was
Nothing
I
about
think
that.
I might be mincing the lyric a little bit, but that's
motherfucking bars.
that was kind of my whole mentality though this year. It's like,
Yeah.
how the fuck am I gonna get good at anything if I don't do it? Like,
Seriously, yeah.
yeah,
I think for anyone watching too, the number one thing that you have to do is get fucking started. Like if you're not dropping, if you're not creating, people are, okay? Like someone else is. And so if you want to be posting whenever that person posts, if you're looking at someone and like, fuck, I wish I had some content right now, go make some.
facts.
Go fucking make something. It doesn't have to be good. You just have to make it. And the thing
Facts.
is, if you just create, eventually something's going to be good.
I think it's interesting that there's this philosophy that people think that they're controversial enough in their own egos that they're gonna get like hated.
No,
And, like,
and
yeah.
you know, don't take yourself so seriously whenever you're a small artist. Like what I found is whenever an artist gets naturally big anyway, they become more humble. You know, like they recognize that it's a real gift whenever the fans really like what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because that's just not the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You could make the best version of your music all day and it not resonate. You know what I mean? So it really kind of takes the right.
So I would
Overlap.
say my biggest change that I made in mindset for music this year is in the past I was very big on lyrical rap, right? Like I wanted to make some shit that had 6 entendres in every fucking bar and everything was this and that.
Yeah.
And then I realized people are retarded.
They'll never
So
get
I was
it.
like, I need to like get a catalog first put together before I'm in like a spot where I'm putting blood, sweat, and tears into a fucking pen.
And
So
like, who
I-
are the fans that would understand all of that?
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean? That
I tried to
population's so
so
small.
I tried to change it to like make songs that are lyrical still, but the first bar of the entendre is so obviously clear that they aren't going to question the rest of it. And
Sure.
then maybe their third, fourth, fifth listen, then they'll catch something else later. Like it's
Right.
like, okay, that's cool. That's fine. And like when I made that transfer, I feel like my music got so much better because I wasn't trying so hard. Like it wasn't like I need to show you how hard my fucking pen is.
Yeah,
It was just like I was making a good song.
it's all about that. You know,
Yeah.
if the song isn't catchy, if it's not gonna stick on people, then you know it doesn't matter what you said. And that's unfortunate because sometimes people have great bars and songs that just don't really sound good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, or vice versa.
or vice versa, right? But it's like bad bars on a good song is a lot less bad than good bars on a bad song. 'Cause
Yeah, that
good bars
pisses
on a
me-
bad
yeah.
song are not going to get listened to at all.
Facts.
Bad bars on a good song are only bad bars because people have to fucking listen to them
It's
every
like,
time they jam your shit.
People have expectation crisis.
Yeah,
That's why freestyling is so the wave right now because I'm a white kid with red hair, and if I say
That's classic.
if I say I could freestyle, they're like,
no way.
"You
exactly.
finna say the N word,"
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
like,
You
"No."
look like a leprechaun.
I'm
There's
like,
way.
"No, I can rap," and then I start rapping, and then no matter who it is, they're like, "God damn!"
Yeah.
And it's if I was like, "Hey, can I show you a song?" Then even then they're like, "Oh, you don't. There's no way you make hip hop music." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I show it, and like even if it's the best song ever, they're like, "Okay, that's pretty good,"
Mhm.
because in their head they're like, he's not sounding like Drake. He doesn't sound like Kendrick. He doesn't sound like the biggest artists that have been doing it for 20, 30 years that have been working with the most expensive producers in the industry versus a freestyle. The expectation is so low.
And your voice isn't one that they recognize yet.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a big part of it is like a lot of popular artists have unique voices that make them stand out. And so whenever they're, putting songs on the radio and people are hearing them in their subconscious, like if someone doesn't listen to Post Malone, they know Post Malone. Like they'll hear it and be like, "Oh, I know this artist." They might not know who it is, but it's familiar enough with their ear. They kind of already like it. You know what I mean? Same as if you were to just have a song on the radio and then showed somebody, they would be like, "Oh shit, like you're that guy." It would be a completely different experience, even though they still would have been meeting you and being introduced
weird
for the first time.
That's true, but it's so weird. Like it's like you can not know someone equally and see someone's face one time, and it can completely depict like how you would receive it.
Right, and it's like you almost have to. It's like a mob mentality for a lot of people. Is seeing someone agree with something makes you want to agree with it.
Yeah,
that you won't do it first.
Or an underdog mentality where enough people hate somebody where you have to play devil's advocate. You're like that 6ix9ine Tekashi, bro.
Sure, but he still had to do that by getting people on his side first to turn him against him. You know what I mean? So that still required a whole lot of legwork. It wasn't that was how you grew from zero. And I think a lot of artists too just kind of have that like ability to create what they want to hear, which is important. But at the end of the day, people are going to listen to what they want to listen to. You know what I mean? So you can't even really control whenever those two things overlap. You just have to keep creating music that you want to hear, and then eventually someone's going to find something they want to listen to. But you can't make them. Yeah, and if you go out of your way, they'll be able to tell.
I will say one thing that I think is fucking absolutely beautiful is the YouTube movement of boxing. Because it brought back this old school tradition of I don't like you, I don't fuck with you, so we are going to physically fight.
Yeah, sure.
And it's not going to be we're going to jump you with our friends or we're going to shoot you. We are going to put gloves on like men and we are going to beat the fuck out of each other. And in a weak ass generation that we live in, bringing that back to me is so important.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, especially because it's like you can settle differences and everyone walks away.
And make some money from it.
And it makes some money. Like that benefits everybody. And honestly, a lot of people would end up fighting just grow respect for each other. You know what I mean? So maybe you settle your differences that way.
You create a situation where you're doing business with someone like that. Like it's like, sure. But look at KSI and Logan Paul. They had 3 fights and then they built, like I hate both of them, but then they fucking, they made Prime.
Yeah. And exactly. They made a ton of money doing that.
Billions.
Shit. Yeah. And they sparked their being seen together as a beef.
Marketing.
Know what I mean? Yeah, it was smart.
Do you think that it was all predetermined? Like, do you think that they actually were cool the whole time?
Yes, of course.
So you don't think any of that beef was real at the beginning?
I think they're smarter than you give them credit for.
No, I definitely think they're smart. But I'm saying like, I don't know. I feel like at the beginning, there was no way they were associated before the fights.
Well, obviously they've shown interest in WWE, where narrative is super important.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
maybe it really was that like all
like
of it.
Student of the narrative.
I really do think that Logan and Jake though had beef at one point. Like I think like they're different people. Like I think that's why they don't.
Brothers?
Yeah, that's why I don't think they do content together.
Sure.
Like they don't. I don't think they really fuck with each other that much.
Bitch,
yeah, I don't think they fuck with each other that much.
Because at that point.
Yeah, they got big egos. I think they're both like,
but
Jake genuinely thinks
independently successful. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying financially. I'm saying like they both have that like big little brother mentality. Like it's like
True.
And it's like they don't have that old school brother mentality of like I just want to see my brother win. It's like you could see there was like videos of like Logan disappointed like watching Jake box, like because Logan's like 0-5 in boxing and Jake's like 7-1 or something.
That's hilarious.
And it's like, that's crazy. And then on the other side, like Jake's like making fun of it and like how he's acting, going to bed at 10 o'clock, like being a dad now. And I'm like, bro, like that's part of life. Like what the fuck? Like, and like, I actually like Jake Paul a lot. Like, sure. I think he's a mastermind of business. I think he's actually a solid boxer. And like everybody hates him because he's a YouTuber, but the dude's genuinely pretty talented.
Sure. I mean, I feel like there was a point in time where he could have left with a lot more respect than he has right now. But I don't know if it would have landed him on the same trajectory, being kind of there's a new phenomenon where it's kind of like the new male influencers where you kind of send that UFC orbit, you know what I mean? Like he's established himself some rapport in that scene. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he would have been able to do that if he stopped doing YouTube before everyone lost respect for him.
Yeah, I would I would highly recommend to go watch the interview he just did with Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
It was-
yeah.
yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind he's a smart guy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And the results speak for themselves. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like I would value the way I'm seen by other people. You know what I mean? Like, if I do very, very well for myself, and I look back at my career and I was like, people are like, how did you do it? I was an engineer and I worked in a restaurant. That is some regular ass shit. That is some shit everyone can understand and respect and like, you know,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's cool.
Y-
And if
But
you're-
what do you even say about him? Like, what? He was a YouTuber, and then he was an actor,
Right.
and then he was a boxer,
Yes,
and then now he's a fight promoter.
exactly.
So it's like, like that's insane. Like,
Yeah.
even if you're like, yeah, dude, he's delusional. He thinks he's the best in the world, and he's not.
Sure. And like, you know, if your qualm with them is that it's staged, of course it's staged.
It's not staged.
But the thing is, that doesn't even matter if it were. Like, the fact that he was able to leverage it to where he is now is what was the
That-
real
I don't think it was staged.
impressive.
I think he was
stuff.
just fighting old ass motherfuckers that he could beat.
Well, sure, but I mean,
I don't think he was actually staging the fights.
But
Because
okay, if you're gonna stage beef with KSI, I mean that's enough of that gets people introduced, and now
again,
you have a
there's-
reason to fight.
there's a
Mayweather.
complete difference between making a fight seem more personal than it really is than
Yeah.
actually choreographing a knockout. Those
Oh,
are
no,
completely
no, no,
different
no.
things.
Choreographing the knockout is one thing.
Yeah.
Knowing who's gonna win going into it, I mean, yeah, probably. Like,
I don't think so.
If you're across the ring from a 50-year-old, you know, what I mean, he has no illusions that he's going to beat the shit out of you. Okay, you're a jacked up 28-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I mean, like I said,
he
it was
probably
like,
bet on you too.
it's like, bro, he literally got his face broken by AJ. Like, dude, that shit was
Sure.
not rigged, bro. Like that, have you seen the dude since then? Like his fucking jaw's hanging out by a thread.
Right. But like there wasn't the fight to fight AJ was already that was going to happen. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this is his path, who he fought. to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it. Like no, that's definitely.
I think like it's possible that the Tyson one was like there was an agreement that they weren't going to knock each other out.
of course,
But I
He's
don't
basically
think-
holding him up at the end. He's holding Tyson up so he doesn't fall.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I don't think it was like everybody's like, oh, Tyson would have knocked Jake out if it was for real.
Yeah, if they were the same age, Mike Tyson would have
Obviously,
started eating
but
him.
I'm saying with the age difference, if they were
You
both
would've
trying,
witnessed
Jake still would have
cannibalism.
not. Jake would have still knocked him out though. Like if it was like if they were throwing guns to the wall.
Oh, sure.
Like, bro,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He's a
absolutely.
fucking jacked pro
But, like,
boxer versus
Tyson
60-year-old.
knew that. Tyson knew that going
Yeah.
in. He
So I
probably
think
bet on
people, I
Jake,
think the
too.
narrative was backwards. People were like, oh, it's rigged so Jake would win. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was rigged so Tyson wouldn't get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because
one
no
wants to
one
embarrass the
wanted to,
champ.
no one wanted to see that.
That would have been because now Jake loses face and Tyson loses face. But you know, everyone loves Tyson. He's everyone's grandpa. No one wants to see him get
Yeah.
hurt, especially in probably one of his last fights ever.
Yeah, and it
You
was
know?
the same thing. Like, bro, like you're gonna tell me an MMA fighter that could get paid millions of dollars for any fight that he takes, no matter who he fights, in Nate Diaz, would lose to Jake Paul twice on purpose.
Yeah.
You're bugging. Like, no, Jake, he just can't box, and Jake can box. That's all that happened. If they had an MMA fight, it'd be a different story.
Sure.
But in a fucking boxing match, it's the same thing. He fought Tyron Woodley. Bro, Tyron Woodley is one of the heaviest hitting 170 pounders ever. Bro knocks people the fuck out. And Jake flatlined him with one punch. And everyone's like, oh, he took a dive. I'm like, no, Jake put a left hook on that motherfucker's chin. You literally watch the sweat fly off bro's face. Like, that shit was not fake. That shit happened. And no champion of a sport is going to just be like, yeah, bro, let me just get knocked out real quick.
Hey, if you pay me 5 M's, and
They were already
especially-
making that.
No, I mean, if you make $100K a fight, and then Jake comes up and he's like, I got a $25 million purse.
Yeah, but that's not what happened.
I'm taking the dive.
Tyrone Woodley
For
was
sure.
If Tyrone Woodley was making $500K to fight, $500K to win, though.
And then you go gamble, you know, how much of that? Like,
Yeah.
shit, I was over in Vegas, and I mean, Bruno's still doing his thing over there. Like, shit, you know,
That's fair.
he might die doing that.
Hey, you're not wrong. I'm just saying Anderson Silva, bro. He was just 43 and a kickboxer. And if you take away a kickboxer's ability to kick,
Right. I mean, there's a lot of people Jake isn't fighting. You know? what
yeah,
I mean?
no,
Like,
he's not a true contender in boxing. But
Exactly.
I'm saying if he was not named Jake Paul, let's say his name was John Doe. He was a regular dude, and he just so happened to have the fights that he's had. People would be like, holy shit, like there's this up and coming boxer that's like, you know, he's 10-1, and maybe he could fight a decent tier fucking like no name that's a pro.
Sure.
And
I
it'd
would
be a
like
good
to
fight.
see him in the actual contention. I would like to see him fight some other 28-year-olds that are in his weight
I mean,
class.
I thought it would be a good fight. I think he could fight Deontay Wilder. I think that would be a good fight. Like Deontay Wilder's out of like he's old, but at the same time he's still like he just got a knockout win against a real pro recently.
Yeah.
So it's like I think that would be fun.
And
and
it
like
would definitely kind of start to put some of the narratives to rest.
I mean, and Jake's a better boxer than him. Just Deontay Wilder hits like a fucking brick
Yeah.
shithouse. So it's like,
you gotta have an iron chin for that. That's gonna be a lot.
but like if you watch bro fight, bro throws punches from his hips and just has the touch of death.
Mhm.
So it's like
yeah,
Jake could probably beat him if it goes the distance. It's just staying away from those bombs.
I would like to see that fight. That'd be great. I'm not gonna bet on it though.
Francis
Don't do any
Ngannou
sports
would be a
bet.
good fight.
I think he walks around a little heavier. Actually, no, Drake's pretty fucking thick though.
Yeah, I mean they could fight at heavyweight.
Yeah, he's gonna have to slim down.
I mean heavyweight's what 220 and Jake's like 205. You don't think he'd put 15 on for that? I could see
You're
it.
supposed to come from big to little though. You don't want to be bulking. If
Yeah,
you're bulking, if you don't walk around 240, you
Yeah.
shouldn't fight heavyweight.
that's true. I don't know. I mean,
that's rough.
he
You're
thinks.
gonna get
I bet you
fucked
Jake
up.
would do it though, because Jake thinks Francis can't box. Yeah, if Francis can box a little bit,
Francis is dense.
yeah, he's a big dude.
If
I want
you-
to. I want to
You
see.
can't let your guard down.
I want to
At
see.
all. You have to fight a perfect fucking.
I want to
fight.
see Francis fight John Jones.
What, boxing?
No, in UFC.
UFC? Yeah, that'd be something. Shit.
I
John Bones is
I
fine.
I think John would get him
Maybe.
pretty easily.
Maybe if he even took the fight, honestly. Who
No,
knows?
no, it's never gonna happen. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
he's
Dana
done.
White and Francis have beef. It's not possible.
Oh,
That will not
okay.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Well, I mean, it's for the best.
According to Dana, Francis threatened him, like
Wow.
physically, like in his office, like so apparently, like he put hands on him. So I
Shit.
mean,
Whoopsie.
I wouldn't fuck with the big African after that either.
Whoops. Yeah, I don't know if yeah, that's probably he'd probably kill you, Dana. But I mean, Dana's not even a small guy, so I gotta
I
wonder.
mean, Dana is a small guy compared to Francis Ngannou.
Sure, yeah, for sure, you don't want to be on the wrong side of him. But you know, if you're Dana, I mean, you have enough time to press the security button or something.
Yeah.
You know,
I think we saw the greatest heavyweight fight ever this weekend. It was between Josh Hockett and Curtis Blades. It was like Bart Simpson versus it was like Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin's boxing match. Like they just no defense, just firefight for 3 rounds. Just
I love those,
bro, and neither of them got knocked out.
So
It
entertaining.
was so fun to watch.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then right after they announced that the guy that won that fight's gonna fight at the White House against Derek Lewis.
Okay.
And that's like the most American fight ever. They're
Oh,
both
yeah.
American heavyweights, big ass dudes. Like, what the fuck?
Apparently Trump called that in.
Yeah, facts. It was on his birthday.
That's ridiculous.
I think it was ridiculous that they made the call to Hockett while he was in the fucking he was in the ambulance. And he
Yeah, I
was
mean,
like,
what are you gonna do? Not pick up?
I'll take the fight. yeah, I was
hell
like,
yeah, you will. Hey, man, shit, that's a once in a lifetime
I
opportunity.
mean, yeah, you gotta. Oh, I have a conspiracy theory about the White House card.
Oh, yeah?
I think all the people that are fighting on the White House card have no criminal history. That's why.
no criminal history.
Yeah, that's why they made the card like that because
Oh,
they had to
sure.
get security clearance to be on the White House lawn. So I think there's some guys that aren't on the lawn. Why John Jones couldn't fight at the White House?
That's funny as fuck. Yeah, hey,
Think,
you know,
I'm not even
probably-
joking. That might be what it is. Think about it. Alex Pereira, bro. I guarantee you Alex Pereira couldn't fight at the White House because Alex Pereira fucking killed people
Mm.
as in a tribe in
Mhm.
fucking Brazil.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you that like some of the security clearance shit wouldn't let some of
That's-
the.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know,
actually. That's
the-
pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
Why are none of the Muslims at the White House card?
Oh man, yeah, we gotta normalize relations with Iran before all that.
That's
shit.
what I'm saying.
It's gonna be a little bit. Sorry, guys.
Like no Islam Makhachev, no fucking Chimaev. Those are 2 of your biggest stars in the UFC. No
that's,
Merab.
That's shocking, actually.
Think
yeah.
about it. No, all these fucking there's no Muslims. So it's like, maybe they don't want to see the Muslims during the Iran conflict win in
But we
June.
fuck with Saudi. We like Saudi Arabia.
It's true.
I don't know.
It's
maybe
weird.
Maybe it's a risk. I don't know.
I think
I'm
they
not in control of security clearance at the
though
White House.
the one
so
thing that
I
is a
wouldn't know.
big mistake though for the White House, in my opinion, is that they put Ilya Taporia at the White House because he's gonna massacre Justin Gaethje, and it's gonna be like so sad because the main event is the American getting his ass beat. So it's like, and I don't even think there's like a 5% chance for Gaethje to win.
You
Like
think so? I have no idea what's going on.
like
so.
to me, Taporia is the most well built fighter
Mhm.
pound for pound in the whole world right now.
Okay.
He's an elite grappler, but he's got the best boxing in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 155. He's short. He's got heavy hands. He really has the touch of death.
Mm-hmm.
And Gaethje is one of the most hittable guys. He's a dog, But the whole idea of being a dog in a fight is not necessarily what you want to be. You don't want to be the guy that gets into wars, into bar fights. You want to be the guy that is an executioner. Like you don't get hit. And that's what Taporia is. Taporia is the guy that hits and doesn't get hit.
That'd be interesting to see. I guess it'll pop up on my feed whenever they do it.
It'll be a war, June 14th. It'll be a war. But I'm just like, I like both guys.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Justin Gaethje get flatlined. I just don't want to. And especially in the White House, in your like representing your country and just.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
Hope he doesn't get his fucking ass
Dude,
kicked.
it's kind of reminding me though of when Conor McGregor fought Aldo. Every single person was like, Aldo's gonna kill this kid.
Yeah.
Aldo's gonna kill this kid. Aldo's gonna kill this kid. And then McGregor flatlined him 14 seconds into the first round.
Yeah, that was brutal. That
So
was brutal.
maybe Justin Gaethje will shock the fucking world.
You know, that'd be a good place to do it on a White House lawn.
that would be so
you might
cool.
as well.
Would you, if you were a fighter, would you want to fight at the White House? Like if you like, because I feel like the whole idea of being a fighter that's cool is you have a billion fans that could see you on like at the events, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus if you fight at the White House, it's like a bunch of like security and like it's like a bunch of.
True.
It's cool, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have no problem getting a crowd considering some of the rallies they pull off. You know what I mean? Like
That's a
you
good point.
Can't possibly vet 100,000 people. You know what I mean? So it's hard to do. But I know they'll find a way to pull it off. It'll be pretty interesting to see. I don't know if I'll pay for the card though.
I got Paramount Plus, bro.
Okay, well, you're covered then.
Comes with
Yeah.
my rent.
Nice.
It does, yeah.
No shit. I was gonna say there's some nice apartments, bro. That's pretty
Bro, I
cool.
fucking love this spot. Yeah, it's like one of those things you're forced to get the Wi-Fi that's with all the other Wi-Fi, and my
Yeah.
Wi-Fi comes with the cable
Oh,
thing.
they're so far out of the way, bro. We just got Starlink. Changed the game, dude.
Oh, let's go. Put that
Yes.
shit down.
we had fucking this shit called Brightspeed. Fuck Brightspeed. Worst fucking company ever. We had like 3 megs
yeah,
down.
fuck Brightspeed.
Fuck Brightspeed. No, you could record that. You could post that. Fuck Brightspeed. So 3 megabytes down for like $120 a month. So horrible. Starlink comes around. We have like 300 megs down for about 80 a month. No brainer. And I can't believe this wasn't available to us sooner. We've had the fucking Spectrum guys come down our road like 5 times. They told me to fuck myself every time.
Damn, that's gay.
I know. Well, so we lived on a dirt road, and apparently you can't get to the service for our road unless you go down a parallel dirt road that's hidden by a ton of trees. And I don't know. They just said they want to go over there, so I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, the fucking Starlink changed the game for us, so we have high-speed internet in the studio now. Changed everything. But I honestly couldn't even fucking believe it. It was just such a scam that we were paying for before. No Paramount Plus, no cable, no nothing.
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. Brightspeed, trash
Dude,
fucking internet.
greatest app that I ever found that changed my life, bro. It's a website called MyFlixer with an app called TV Cast. If you go, it's a ad block website app that you can like document websites that have like high pop up volume, and it'll make you reject it rather than every time the ad comes up, it'll make you kick you out of the page.
Okay.
So you could use illegal websites with an ad blocker. So I would use this website called MyFlixer, and it has every TV show and movie in history. So that's how I'd stream everything before
That's
I
badass.
got, yeah, everything. So instead of fucking watching like Netflix or some shit at my house, I would just have it playing on my phone, and I would screen mirror my phone to the TV and play MyFlixer. The only thing that sucks is you have to manually click every episode. Like there's no like 5 seconds, it's the next one starting. But when I came here, I got that streaming package. So now I have Netflix, Disney, fucking HBO Max,
Fucking right. What's your name
and
here?
Paramount. What is it? 1600.
Not bad.
Yeah.
For the whole place?
Yep.
And you
And me and my
shit?
roommate split it. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's good. And then yeah,
Boston, dude.
it's not bad at all.
It's reasonable
Cedar
out here.
Park, baby.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anything in this area has been reasonable, which is more than can be said for most places.
Hey, everything's bigger in Texas, but my dick has not got the memo yet.
No. Well, it's delayed.
Does it take time?
Yeah. How long have you been in Texas?
3 months.
Yeah, it's not long enough.
Fuck.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give it a few years, but
It's not long enough. How would you know?
Just hang on to your faith, okay? Texas is a good state. It's a good state for a lot of reasons.
No, I really like it here. I think the number one thing people don't talk about enough here is how friendly the people are.
Where did you move from?
Chicago.
Pretty far north, right?
Yep.
Illinois? Yeah, dude. Northerners, y'all are some assholes, bro. Not even gonna lie. I went to New York for like a weekend to shoot some content for like some crypto bullshit I was doing, and literally everyone there is a piece of shit to me. I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck's wrong with you? Where's the hellos? Where's
Well,
the
if you don't get a cocksucker or a motherfucker that's like saying hi, how are you in New York?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
seriously, I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm so spoiled. I've been living in Texas my whole life, so everyone's always been so nice. You know, Southern hospitality is a real thing.
You got backhanded over there.
You don't realize until you're there, like, oh shit, like y'all just default rude. to
The
people.
women, bro. That's the
So,
most noticeable.
I get off the plane JFK, and I'm looking for a taxi so I can get to where I'm staying. And I'm on the wrong side of the booth, so I'm like, I tap on the booth. The lady sees me. She signals for me to go around, and I come around, and I'm like, hi, how are you? And she's like, what? And I was like, oh fuck! Like that was my first taste of New York. Was this lady basically wanted to kill me with a look? I was like, oh shit! Like, I'm not in Texas anymore. And yeah, that was pretty much the theme of the whole trip. Everyone was a giant asshole, but you know, there's so many people. Eventually, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
you can get someone's ear, and we were just there to like hang posters and get a billboard.
Chicago is so retarded that like my friends that I would go out with all the time, like when we would be single and talk shit to girls and whatever, fucking girls would always be like their default response instead of rejecting you was just like they'd lie that they have a boyfriend. So
Oh,
it used
yeah,
to be
of
it used to be a fun game to ask them what their boyfriend's name was.
Mm.
And then be like, dude, why didn't you just say I was ugly? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
True.
like it was funny
You
because
can
like
be honest. It's
it's
2026.
so funny. Like they'd be like, I'd be like, what's their name? And the bitch would be so dumbfounded that like I said anything back to her.
Yeah.
Like, and then she like, so, bro, I've actually pulled girls like that before. Like I was like, where the girl like, well, what I actually didn't. I was like lying, and then I'm like, bro, why'd you feel the need to lie to me?
Yeah.
And then like she's like, I don't know, I was just with my friends. Well, yeah, I'm with my friends too. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
And then like I end up intervening with this whole group of friends with like all three of my friends I brought.
I've been with my wife for a really long time, so I don't really talk to bitches. Not
That-
really my thing.
Bro, I haven't talked to no chicks barely at all like since I moved here. I dated a girl for 5 years. We
Mhm.
broke up a year and a half ago, a year ago in February. And then when I moved here, I've just been so dialed. I ain't done shit.
That's
But
good though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bitches are a distraction. I got my wife when we were like 18ish, so we've been together almost 10 years now.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's
she's great.
awesome, bro.
She's great. I love her.
Yeah.
I don't need anybody else. She's
Yeah.
she's perfect.
Oh, that's the dream, but you can't meet your wife if you don't talk to people. So I'm trying to like, I'm still
True.
trying to meet my wife, bro.
Well,
you
we've
know?
known each other for so long. We met whenever I was like 13. So
Damn.
yeah, she's
So-
the same age.
Oh, okay. That's awesome, bro. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, we met in like
That's
middle
a
school,
blessing,
and then
bro.
We got together after high school.
Yeah, I love that shit. I'm a fucking hopeless romantic, but
It's out there.
Yeah.
You know, just the thing is, you know, you just can't cheat. You know, there's no cheating. You could do any other fucking
you said
thing
you can't
want, but
cheat
you
like it was
cannot
like you
cheat.
said it like it was like a warranty label. Like what
Well,
the-
because that's so true. Because there's
Yeah.
so many things you could heal from, so many things that you can go through together, but cheating is not one of them.
Yeah.
If you break that sacred trust, it's over. And so, you know, that was kind of because you know people get on podcasts all day. They're like, oh yeah, you know, he's cheated, but then we went to therapy. Like, what the fuck? There's no therapist that could lie to me, make me gaslight me
Yeah.
into thinking that's cool.
Yeah,
Like, what
no.
the fuck? No,
it's
man.
just gonna make you think differently too. It's just it's not
yeah,
worth it.
respect myself less. So for what? We don't even have any kids. Like, you know what I mean?
I that's why my relationship ended. 5 years I got cheated on.
Yeah, can't do that.
But yeah, I don't know. I also feel like I had a really good outlook on it. I feel like God will remove people from your life to take you away from your purpose.
Sure. Well, I mean, imagine you didn't catch her, and then now you're married, and then oh shit, and I gotta
That
get a fucking divorce.
and I felt like that. Sometimes I feel like our actions are like predispositioned a little
Mhm.
bit. Like it's like you know you're gonna fuck up, and like they're gonna like one thing leads to another kind of thing. Like it's
Yeah.
like God's gonna make you drink heavy tonight to make your inhibition lower. That's gonna make you like you know what I mean. Not literally
God
God,
made me
not
drink.
not literally
Yeah.
God, but like that predisposition of like manifest destiny.
Sure.
Like it's like you made one poor choice that led to another poor choice that needed to happen to teach you this lesson, right?
Right,
And maybe a normal you in your sober mind would never have done this to do that.
Sure.
But whatever conflict you went through was like, okay, well tonight I never drink dark liquor. Tonight I'm drinking dark liquor.
Sure.
Tonight I'm gonna drive my car. I'm gonna
Oh,
crash
fuck.
my car. I'm gonna meet a chick while I crash my car. That like you know, there's
Yeah.
this whole story that unfolds that all started because you did something you never do.
Yeah.
And like whatever made you get that thought, I feel like had to happen. So it's
Yeah.
like I felt God knew that I literally spoke to God, and I felt like God realized I was willing to give up on what I was trying to accomplish to settle for a healthy relationship, which was healthy at the time. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm with this girl for 4-5 years, and I'm like, yeah, we've been loyal. It's a healthy relationship. We never fight. We're in a good spot. We're
Yeah.
you know constantly going out and having a good time, whatever. and I could settle for a job where I make 80 to 100K a year doing whatever fucking sales or whatever, and I could get a crib and we could have kids and have a family, and that could be it.
Right.
And the second when my thought process became that, I felt a violent shift in her. And then when she was like worse, obviously, like she got caught up in some dumb shit. I got out of the relationship. I felt like that motivated me to come here to push what I'm trying to do. And the clarity I got from that got me out of like the hardships of the breakup. Because I was like, damn, like that needed to happen.
For sure.
So even if that's not true, it's the healthy way it's helped me think.
Right. And I mean, imagine if it hadn't happened. You know what I mean? How much would be different now? And how much the opportunities you've been given since then have been blessed, you know? So, yeah. And, you know, people weed themselves out in a way that, you know, sometimes it's not pleasant, but at the end of the day, it's good. And it's something that we all need is to grow from. And, you know, the best thing you can do for somebody is to just leave them the fuck alone sometimes, you know? So if you're in some shit and it's obviously been blowing up in your face or whatever, you know, it's just.
Time is it?
3:47?
Holy shit, we've been yapping.
Yeah.
God damn.
When'd you work?
I have a work at 4:15. But
oh shit,
yeah.
You work close to here?
Yeah, I'm really close.
Oh, okay, good.
We've been yapping, but I guess we got to wrap it up a little bit. God damn, I did not realize it was that time. I close the show though the same way with everybody.
Sure.
I want to know when it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered as, both as a person, as an engineer?
So as a person, I want to be remembered as a good friend. I want to be remembered as somebody who cared and clocked in with the same intention, I guess, as an engineer, you know, is to really do better than I had. You know what I mean? So if we were working together for 1 year, market improvement, you know what I mean? Like you could just see that there was always an edge in trying to improve and learn. I want to be remembered as a student, you know what I mean? Someone who was trying to learn from people the entire time. Because I feel like whenever you stop doing that, whenever you stop getting better. So, yeah, you know, just someone who wants to be their best version of themselves. That's good enough for me.
That's awesome.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for having me on,
Thank you.
Trevor.
Hey, bro,
Really
where can the people find you, bro?
So you can catch me on Instagram. I'm at Rich the Engineer with an underscore. Nothing fancy. And then, yeah, honestly, you'll probably just hear me. So
awesome,
yeah,
man.
Hope you fuck with
And
it.
we're going to make some beautiful music.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
Man, Rich is the toughest in the game. Thanks for the pod. Thanks for the shows. And I'm going to try to rip this beat up for you, bro. So I appreciate you for sending that shit over. Let's rock it. Yeah, okay. Rich engineer, the best in the game. Rich engineer, I'm engineering the fame. I'm making that money, I ain't never claim it. I hop in the beat while I'm known it for gaming. I ball like I'm Damian Lillard, the way that I'm shooting from range. And I might as well fuck me an Asian. Shawty be mad, I'm Caucasian. I know that I'm blazing, yeah, life is amazing. Blue strips, I'm talking amazing. Blue Crips ain't fucking on staging. I'm sorry, little baby, you know I'm up stages. The same way I'm rapping, they rushing them stages. Yeah, all of these bars, I'm locked in the cages. All of these bars, I'm serving them rages. All of them bars, I'm no Power Rangers. I get the bread, I might as well hop in exchange. And the way that I'm changing it up, bad buttercup, the chopper I hit with the squad. You know that the goose run it up. We finna shoot, the bands in the loot. Yeah, shawty be fine, she kinda cute. She up on my neck and she grabbing my chain. It's gold, you know in the game. Ballin' like Kobe, I'm taking the fame. Ballin' like Kobe, ain't taking a plane. Damn. Ballin' like Kobe, you taking a plane.